much listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Oh, happy Monday. Gosh, it's almost the end of February. We've only got a few days left of February, which means it's almost summer, which means it's going to be Christmas again.
Wow, that seems like a bit of a jump.
Welcome back. But I believe in aiming high and far and long. Like for the gold, you might say. Did you guys, this is where Ethan's jumping in the conversation today. He's all USA'd out with his lovely stocking cap. Did you guys watch it live? Ethan, did you watch it live?
I did watch it live.
You
yes.
did watch it live?
Yep.
Ryan, you didn't.
I watched the score live.
You did?
I didn't see the game. I was just refreshing the score over and over.
Why?
Because I wanted to know what happened.
Well, why wouldn't you watch it? Were you in church?
Yes,
Watching
was
the
getting.
score?
We were going to church. Yeah,
Okay, but you weren't like,
we weren't in the sanctuary.
they score and you're like, oh, yeah,
No, we weren't.
that's an amazing sermon.
No,
Praise the Lord.
but I do that.
Yeah, I know. I know you do all the time. Ethan, did you get up to watch? Did you watch the whole thing? Did you stumble? I mean, what was the...
So I was with a friend the night before, and he was like, he just kind of nonchalantly said, "We should get together tomorrow morning, watch the game." I was like, "All right," and I get a call like 2 minutes later. He's like, "Yeah, we're doing this. We're
This is
coming over.
happening."
Yep, come on over." He's got a nice little setup in his basement, big old projector on his wall with some recliners. So it's perfect sports watching setup.
Is he married?
He is married.
He
yes.
is married.
He is married. Yes. And
Not
so
that that's relevant to anything, but I'm just saying.
you know, I mean, I think if you would have said
Sounds
no,
like he's happily married.
Yes. And so I set the alarm for 6:50 and drove over there. Freebird was playing on the way. Freebird was playing throughout, and Freebird was playing on the way home.
Listen to this is the United States men's hockey team. I presume it's after they won because they've got medals around their necks. Have you seen this video, Ethan? You know which one I'm talking about?
I believe I do, yes.
They're sitting around the table, and, I'm here to tell you, and this is what I was gleaning yesterday. I was coming home from church, and then I saw all of a sudden my Twitter feed was like gold, and like people were going crazy or whatever. And before I knew exactly what the detail was, I was like, the testosterone in this country is on overdrive right now. And it was heartwarming for me. Look, here's inside the U.S. men's locker room. They're surrounding a table that's full of supplies and materials and different sorts of things that you'd have in a locker room. And they're linked arm in arm with medals, gold medals around their neck across their USA jerseys.
Respect my statue, USA! Oh, mama, don't you cry! Oh, mama, don't you cry! USA hockey is do or die! USA hockey is do or die! Take a hockey stick in my hand! Take a hockey stick in my hand! Go on off to a foreign land! Go on off to a foreign land! Play said I'd be a star! Play said I'd be a star! USA hockey will go very far! USA hockey will go very far! Take the Gatorade in your glass! Take the Gatorade in your glass! We just kicked your We just kicked your
All right, we get the point. It's bleeped. We appreciate
So
it.
some good clarification on this video. This video itself is not from yesterday.
It's from
this is from this becomes a big thing in the World Juniors, this chant. But the cool part about this video specifically is a lot of these guys that were playing on the juniors team about probably 10 years ago when that video was taken, is they are now on the world championship or on the Olympic champion team. So this is a tradition that has been built for a long time. These guys grew up watching this team just come up short in 2010. They watched TJ Oshie's Captain America in 2014 when he had the epic shootout performance in the Olympics. Now these guys are being able to live this out themselves, but finish the job.
There's another video going around of this same group of people, and they're singing the national anthem, and it's an incredible video. And because they sound exactly like you'd expect the U.S. men's hockey team to sound singing the national anthem, but with full, complete, and total pride. Here's another video from after the victory here in this weekend, and I cannot think. Toby Keith would be so incredibly proud.
I'm gonna say a bunch of names at the top of his list. The Statue of Liberty star
you got them singing and dancing, and they're so pumped for the victory there. And it was really something incredible to see. Now, here's something else that happened, and this is what's making the news rounds in our circles here, where we bleed red, white, and blue on the Annie Fry Show, and we know that you do as well. And listen, you don't have to be a conservative or a Republican to love your country, to feel that surge of adrenaline through your bones and in your veins yesterday when you watched the United States beat Canada again in the hockey championships in the Olympics. But you had in the locker room a special visitor. And of the visitors that were in there, who would it be but Kash Patel? Kash Patel is the director of the FBI, as you know, as you were aware. And he was at the Olympics as a part of a business trip. He was there to obviously ensure security, to work with the Olympics team, to do what he needed to do to make sure. I mean, you would want the FBI to have a presence at the Olympics on a global stage, correct? It's not unusual to think that you'd want the FBI present.
High-level security.
Yeah. And to be publicly so, but also I always figure it's always a tip of the iceberg thing. Like what you see versus what is actually present at any given time with something at such a large scale as the Olympics. Of course, Kash Patel and all of the people who need to be staffed in order to ensure the safety of the American participants, players, families, all of that they're going to be there. Kash Patel was in the locker room for the celebration after the gold medal win. A lot of people are having various opinions on Kash Patel's presence. So you've got in the locker room the champions surrounding a box of Corona and a cell phone being held by one Kash Patel, speaking to none other than President Donald Trump.
1 minute. 1 minute. And by the way, your goalie played not bad.
How are you? Say hi. How are you? Say hi to him.
How you doing, Don?
I have seen hockey goalies have slightly worse games than this. Unbelievable, and you were all unbelievable. And that team is pretty good you played. I don't know if it's going to begin anytime soon, right? And, I tell you what, I just told my people 2 minutes ago, I didn't know they'd be calling. I said, we're giving the State of the Union speech on Tuesday night. I could send a military plane or something, but if you would like to, it's the coolest night, it's the biggest.
We're in.
Yeah.
We're in.
So you have him standing around, and the president calls in, and he goes, wow, how about this? How about you come to the State of the Union Tuesday night? And he says right there, it's the biggest night. So you're going to have at the State of the Union, they agreed in the locker room there, they agreed to come. I don't know what that's going to look like, but will the Democrats stand for them? I don't know. Will there be Democrats at the State of the Union? We've got lots to discuss here throughout the course of the show today and tomorrow as we prep for President Trump's speech. So Kash Patel holding this phone, inviting them.
Boys are going to the State of the Union.
The nice thing about being president is I can tell you, you don't have to worry about the weather or landing. So we don't care if it's snowing, if it's the worst blizzard, we'll be sailing through that sucker just like you did at the ice track.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Now, we'll do it at the White House anytime. What would really be cool, and we'll do the White House the next day, we'll just have some fun. We have medals for you guys. And we have to, I must tell you, we're going to have to bring the women's team. You do know that. I do believe I probably would be impeached.
So you have him saying, okay, we gotta bring the women's team too, because of course they are gold medal champions as well. And he says, if I don't bring the women, of course I'll be impeached. You hear the guys in the background going 2 for 2. I mean, this is just oozing the thing. Like, if you're somebody who watches the Olympics, this is the reason you watch the Olympics.
And Trump is so in his element. Somebody 2 minutes ago apparently goes, here, get on the phone. He goes, yeah, let's do this. Just gives this awesome speech to these guys, having a good time. It's so refreshing to see people enjoying it.
We have talked a lot on the show about the political persuasions, kind of like the lifestyle, the social construct of the left versus the right. And this isn't really like Republican, Democrat. It's more of like, do you live a conservative perspective life or do you live a progressive perspective life? And if you can't, to me, this is a divider of people in this country. Can you look at this and not be happy? Can you see what's going on right now and be dismayed by the joy, the patriotism, the sheer, dare I say, pride that one would have for their country when it comes to America beating Canada? Let's be honest, Canada's game. I think it's an incredible thing to take in. It makes, even I didn't watch the game. I was happy we won. I wasn't invested in it. I wasn't paying attention to it. I was happy to hear that it happened, but I didn't honestly know that the hockey game was going to be played at that time. But it still soaks into my soul to see this and to see all these people across the United States of America have the kind of pride that they have right now because the hockey team did a great job. Here's a headline that I have to share before we go to a break, and it's from the Huffington Post. And the headline is, "There's a name for the discomfort you're feeling watching the Olympics right now." If waving the American flag or chanting USA turns you off right now, you are not alone. That's Monica Torres on the Huffington Post trying to give, how would they say it, safe space for people out there who see the unfettered celebration, the raw emotion of winning an Olympic gold hockey team, or of people who stand there after they've achieved the top, pinnacle of their career, who've seen what hard work can manifest into this ultimate event, wrapping themselves in the American flag, crying when they're singing the national anthem of the United States of America. And that turns some people off. Folks, those are the people who I don't think we can help anymore. If that right there doesn't cut through every single political divide that exists in this country and just makes you feel something so deep inside that not even the politicos can get to it, I don't think we can help those people any longer. All right, 1 minute quick break here. Leigh Ann O'Neill is going to be with us when we come back. Chief Legal Affairs Officer at the American First Policy Institute, on that Supreme Court ruling, President Trump's tariffs. He's going to have to divert his plan. Does he already have a plan? B, C, D? Leigh Ann O'Neill next. AirComfortService.com. I encourage you to reach out to Air Comfort Service for service that you can trust, products that you can rely on. I am a customer of Air Comfort Service. I have had them replace my HVAC system, heating and cooling. I've also had them put in a water heater for me. They've even gone through and done a duct sealing to make sure that the air is dispersing evenly throughout my home. That means I have to run my HVAC system less, saving me money. I want to talk to you, too, about their commercial services. You can reach out to Air Comfort Service at 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, and ask them for a free second opinion on a heat exchanger or compressor repairs. It's dipped into frigid temperatures once again, and if you know that your furnace, your heater is not working as well as it should be, you need to get somebody out there to look at it right now to make sure you're getting an honest reaction, an honest assessment of what you're dealing with so that you can get a fix in place as fast as possible. 314-513-0091, online at aircomfortservice.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Yeah. You're not the type of girl to remain with the guy too shy, too afraid to say he'll give his heart to you forever.
So let me tell you what's going to happen. First, this ruling was a very narrow ruling in terms of the president's ability to use IEPA to collect revenues. The Supreme Court said the president can put in a full embargo, but he cannot collect $1. So the president still has the most draconian measure for negotiations, and that under Sections 232, Sections 301, we're already collecting substantial tariff revenue. The IEPA tariffs are going to be replaced in 3 days with the Section 122, and I can tell you at Treasury, contrary to what the Committee for an Irresponsible Budget, or whatever it's called, says, tariff revenue will be unchanged this year and will be unchanged in the future.
There you have Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent talking to Maria Bartiromo in wake of the SCOTUS ruling, Supreme Court ruling, I should say, on Friday. Big ruling saying, President Trump, you do not have the authority to assess the tariffs in the manner with which you did. And that's kind of where they left it. There's a lot of fallout, a lot of things that need to be discovered and decided after this ruling. The Supreme Court said that's not our responsibility. That's on you to fix the problem, but it was not constitutional the way you did it. Let's get to our guest, Leigh Ann O'Neill, Chief Legal Affairs Officer for the American First Policy Institute. Such a pleasure to talk to you, Leigh Ann. Thank you for being with us this afternoon.
Yes, thank you for having me.
I'd love to hear kind of your, 30,000-foot summation of what happened on Friday, especially I really value the ability to talk to you after a weekend where it's kind of settled in. You're hearing the Sunday shows, the reaction from the administration. How big of a deal was the Supreme Court ruling for the administration?
Well, I would call it really kind of a road bump, a bump in the road more than anything else. I mean, obviously, the president has been enormously strong with the America First agenda, and tariffs are just an incredible and very necessary tool that we have to use to address, fragile supply chains and unfair trade practices. And really, the United States has been the victim of that for a long time now. And so tariffs are key to fixing that problem. And with the Supreme Court's ruling, I think that it actually became more clear what exact authority the president does have to implement the tariffs going forward.
I'm just thinking, how long is this Supreme Court case? How long have we been waiting on this decision? I would imagine that the administration has been planning for this ruling and obviously the other ruling, if it would have gone a different direction. They have to have been planning for this to happen for some time.
Of course, absolutely. And I mean, it's like everything else that President Trump has done. The radical leftists have jumped in and sued at the drop of every hat. So, of course, that's no surprise. And you're right. I expect that they have been planning, to move to the next plan. And there are several other tools in the administration's toolbox when it comes to protecting the American worker.
So we're speaking with Leigh Ann O'Neill, Chief Legal Affairs Officer for the American First Policy Institute. I believe it was maybe Paul Morrow who had said on Fridays something on Fox News, and he just threw something out there that I hadn't considered. Is it possible that in these negotiations where these tariffs were implemented, deals were made with these foreign countries, did they consider while making those deals that there could be a Supreme Court ruling that would come along and maybe negate the basis, the foundation with which the deal was made to make it so that money wouldn't have to be repaid or renegotiated? Was there any sort of, within the negotiating process, consideration for this Supreme Court ruling to come down the way it did?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great point. Like with the level of 4D chess that this president and this administration plays, nothing would surprise me. Obviously, his negotiation skills are extraordinarily sophisticated. And so, yeah, nothing would surprise me.
Leigh Ann, so when the president was speaking at the press conference, a lengthy press conference, I'm always amazed at his ability to talk about the issues himself. He doesn't have to send surrogates to do it. He can talk about them with full command, and this being an incredibly complicated situation where he's involved in all of these negotiations. Will there have to be some backtracking on plans, deals that he's already made? Will they have to be renegotiated? When I hear Section 232, 301, 122, can those just be implemented in the place of the other one and we just soldier on and keep going from wherever we left off?
Well, and as you mentioned, I mean, he already got started, right? Like he implemented the new round of tariffs, right away. And so I, anticipate that, as we're becoming accustomed to, the primary roadblocks that will exist going forward are with respect to rogue judges and, radical leftists who are coming after the president in every move he makes, despite the fact that it's all in the effort to protect the American people and the American worker.
Leigh Ann, this is Ryan Wiggins. I made this point on Friday. I still don't know the answer. I'm so hoping that you do. If the use of emergency powers was legally questionable for tariffs, then why did the administration choose that route, since there appear to be so many other routes that they could have used to implement tariffs?
I think that I obviously don't know inside the minds of the administration or the president, but my guess would be that they saw this was a law that had not been used in this way before. And of course, that's one of, I think, the gifts that this administration has shown is using laws that are on the books in new and creative ways. Just because it's never been done before doesn't mean that it's illegal or that there's a problem with it. So I imagine that they saw this as the most opportune point that they could use, the statute they could use most broadly and most favorably to protect American trade. And, we'll have to see where the next pivots come and what the implications of those changes are.
Leigh Ann O'Neill speaking with us, Chief Legal Affairs Officer for the American First Policy Institute. Can you speak to the specificity with which the ruling spoke to tariffs just as a thing? Were there any sort of pushback from the majority opinion that suggested that tariffs in and of themselves were not to be adjacent to the executive branch or unconstitutional or something like that? Was there anything from this ruling that spoke specifically to the tariff in and of itself?
Really, it was really the opposite. The focus of the decision was looking at the authority under this particular law, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. And so the administration had argued that, the plain language of that statute gave the executive branch the authority to regulate imports, which would give the ability to impose tariffs in this reciprocal way. And again, these were implemented in order to address significant emergency problems that exist in the United States. The inflow of fentanyl, poisonous drugs to our country, the enormous trade deficits that we've been experiencing for decades upon decades. But it's well established that the president, the executive branch, has the authority to implement tariffs. Several other laws are clearly understood and have been used historically to do that. And I think that, Justice Kavanaugh's dissent was very eye-opening and really laid out the framework where the executive does have clear authority to use to implement tariffs.
Leigh Ann O'Neill, we appreciate you being with us today on this issue. Is there any more Supreme Court rulings that are out there that we're waiting on for the administration to continue on with the tariff if they implement it through a different section? The ones that I listed there, I don't know which each of those means particularly, but is there any reason why there's something else hanging in the balance for the administration right now? Or did they just really get clarification of you can't do it this way, but you could do it that way?
They got very, very valuable clarification about, how and why and where you can do things. And I think that they're going to rely heavily on what was in this decision and going forward. And again, doing what is necessary to protect the American people.
Well, we appreciate your time. We'd love to bring you back again as these rulings continue to come out. Your expertise is valuable to us. Thanks for some conversation today, Leigh Ann.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Take care. Bye-bye. She is the Chief Legal Affairs Officer for the America First Policy Institute. Good to talk to her. We had her scheduled on Friday to talk, and we were excited to just talk with her. And then we had our wires crossed, and Shannon Bream called us at the same time, and so we had to go with Ms. Bream.
That was a shock because we had watched Shannon Bream on Fox all day, and then she's on the phone.
Thank you for taking the time to talk to you folks, the listeners, because that's why they do these things. All right, let's take a quick break here. The YouTube poll for today: what's your reaction to Kash Patel in the locker room after the United States men's hockey team won gold? Now, I asked Ethan this question. I polled Ethan about the poll question. Is this a word? I never know if I'm looking in too small of a vein of our listeners. And Ethan gave me the thumbs up. So if you hate it, then text us at 314-241-9797.
Yeah.
Blame Ethan.
Text us about Ethan.
Beating around the bush. Blame Ethan.
Ryan always wants me to ask you to text compliments of Ryan Wiggins to the text line. So you can do that as well. 314-241-9797. What's your reaction to Kash Patel in the locker room? You think it was highly inappropriate? Who cares? Loved it. USA, USA. Or you're not watching any of the Olympics and you don't care. Go vote at the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll and text us your thoughts at 314-241-9797. I guess we'll find out if you cared or not. Back in a minute.
I'm just saying it's fine by me if you never leave and we can live like this forever. It's fine by me.
Todd Sivia of Sivia Law, online at sivialaw.com. I appreciate Todd Sivia's understanding, full grasp of everything you need to know when it comes to making a complete, concise, thorough estate plan for yourself. All of the questions that kind of muddle at the top, they're really emotional questions. The ones that you're thinking about, very emotional. Understandable, something you want to put off because you don't want to go there. Folks, you got to go there. And the reason why you have to go there is because once you have these questions answered, even the questions that you didn't even know that you had to ask, Todd Sivia knows those questions. He can help guide you to answers that work for you and your unique situation, your relationships, your family, your in-laws, your outlaws, all of it. Todd Sivia is going to help you navigate those situations to ensure that you have an estate plan that when it comes into your brain, you're like, I got it taken care of because I went to Sivia Law. In Missouri and Illinois, mention my name and you'll get your free strategy session, that first appointment, fee waived. 833-995-WILL, online at sivialaw.com.
Doesn't it feel like you hear all the time from retired friends and family, I wish someone had told me this before I retired? Or why didn't anybody tell me this? Why is this not a class? Well, that's exactly why Financial and Tax Architects was founded. FTA keeps hardworking families in St. Louis make sense of retirement. They show them how to keep more of what they've earned and how to make it last. That way you can get some sleep at night. You don't have to second guess every expense leading up to retirement. You understand what's going on. Their Retirement Planning 101 class is a practical, no-cost course. They teach it at local colleges. It's just one night. You learn strategies to reduce taxes, plan your income, make confident decisions about Social Security and taxes and inflation. And FTA focuses on education. They try to change the way you retire. Call 888-5101 or go to fta-ria.com to register.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. I'm with Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage. And if you're thinking about refinancing, he has some great advice.
Mark, this is a great time to refinance. If you financed over the last 3 years, you're probably paying a higher rate. Take advantage now. Refinance with the Bagel loan. No closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, nothing. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. For those of you folks that are waiting on the sideline saying, hey, maybe the rates will go down more, I'm going to wait. Take advantage now. A bird in the hand's better than two in the bush. Refinance, get the cash out you need, get a lower rate, maybe even go from a 30 to a 20 year and keep that payment the same. All with the Bagel loan.
This is a quick process, right?
We close in 10 days. We send a notary out to your house to close so you don't have to take off any time from work. It's easy. It's simple. Bing, bam, boom. Your home is the biggest investment you're going to make in your life. Deal with somebody local, somebody who has a reputation, somebody who has accountability. I'm here in town. You can call me or text me after hours, weekends, whenever it's convenient for you.
Call or text Stewie at 314-324-4440 or Google the Bagel loan. NMLS number 226715.
If you can sense spring in the air, you're not alone. It's a perfect time to get Corel Roofing Company to come over and give you a free roofing inspection. Mark Cox here. You know, my friend Curtis has been at this a long time. Here's what he can do. If your insurance company has denied coverage for your roof, call Curtis. He specializes in working with insurance companies. You can get a second assessment from them, and often they're able to work with that insurance adjuster to find a way to get it covered. They are honest. They're going to give you a true evaluation of what's going on. Curtis is not going to overcommit on your roofing job. A lot of other companies do this. Curtis feels like quality suffers and customer service drops off. It's important to pay attention to details. Quality materials, quality workmanship. It's certainly what I got when Corel Roofing put a brand new roof on my house. Call 314-222-9529 right now. Tell them Mark Cox told you to call or go to CorelRoofingCo.com.
We are asking you today what your reaction to Kash Patel in the locker room was after the U.S. men's hockey team won gold. Do you think it was highly inappropriate? Or do you think, who cares? Or do you loved it? USA, USA, chanting all the way, or not watching any Olympics, don't care. Those are your four options today to Kash Patel in the locker room after the U.S. men's hockey gold. Let us know what you think. It is 12:33. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Your voice, your values. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Well, you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes, I am, yes, I am, yes, I am. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man.
I would ask Ethan if he gave this kind of treatment when the women won the championship. But wasn't that Friday?
I'm double
Was it
man,
Thursday?
double man,
Yeah.
double man. I don't think there's a
it-
song
was
that
it-
goes like that by Aloe Black.
There's plenty of girl power songs. Most of them suck, though.
The
Just
problem
kidding.
is that they had basically won by
Was
the
it-
time the show
Was it
ended.
Friday? Or was it
think so.
Thursday?
No,
Was it
What-
Thursday?
it wasn't Friday.
It wasn't Friday because the semifinal was on Friday. It was on Thursday.
Whichever day it was, Ethan spent most of his time out there associate producing, watching the game.
Yeah.
So just a little shout out to Ethan's allegiance to both the men's and the women's. You were equally dedicated.
I flipped out when the women won.
You
The
came
way
in here and you go, they're down 1-0 with 2 minutes to go in the game. And that was all I knew about it. And I was just like, okay, well, I guess we lost that one. Then he came back in after the show and he's like, they won.
It's pretty cool.
That was pure cinema. The similarities in which both the men's and women's team won those games. Both final scores of 2-1, both in overtime, both very dramatic, back and forth.
Made for TV.
It was pure cinema. This is gonna be. I'm not a huge Olympics fan. They're kind of whatever. They're cool. But the last couple of days of the hockey,
Sucked you in.
that rivalry, holy cinema.
And
was
it helps
phenomenal.
that they were both against Canada.
Yeah, that does help.
Okay, here is Dave Portnoy, who I really appreciate his takes on things. We usually can't play them on the air because they are not FCC compliant, but this one was from his show on Fox
Sports 1.
Fox
Wake
Sports
Up
1?
Barstool.
Yeah, listen to him talk.
And sometimes on the show, whether you weighed in, and again, I've said it a couple times, there's a video going very viral. I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's the President Trump calling the hockey team after they win. And he's basically congratulating him. He's really going in hellebuck. He's like, unbelievable. You guys, he invites them to the State of the Union, which I believe they are coming to. And he's like, also, boys, just to let you know, I'm going to have to invite the women as well, or else I get impeached if I didn't. And they all laugh. And I've been doing Barstool now for 20 years. There is no softer group of people than hockey Twitter. People are mad. They're going nuts. How could the hockey team laugh? Why are they talking to the president? That stuff, this should be a barometer of whether you're a psychopath.
Are you guys in hockey Twitter? I mean, Ethan,
A little bit.
I mean, a certain amount.
Are they just an emotional bunch?
I guess so. I guess that's what he's aiming for. I haven't necessarily seen it. To the level he
Hockey
is.
players show. I'm trying to think of a professional sport, where emotions push the game more than hockey. I mean,
don't
there's
know
a
if
lot
there
of
is
emotion
one.
that goes into
Maybe
every
football?
professional sport, but like, there's no other sport where you just like throw down and fight because you're ticked.
Well, that's true. But based on Twitter and the posts that I see, NBA fans are highly emotional.
Oh, it's because
also.
they're babies. All right,
Yes.
here's more from
If
Portnoy.
the president calls after you win the gold medal, I don't care. If you don't want to talk him, fine. You don't have to. But to get mad when you talk to the president of the United States and he's just congratulating him, chumming around, both teams are going to the State of the Union. If this speech made you mad, you need to take a Valium and maybe just take 1,000 steps back, because there's nothing to be mad about when the president congratulates a gold medal winning team. So it's wild to see the reaction to this video, which to me is just patriotism and people being happy to win a gold medal.
So when he says there, like, all this is patriotism and happiness that America won something. I don't think that if you're a Democrat, that puts you in the category where you hate what happened here. I think that that's a cheap, shallow way to kind of like, scratch the itch for the people who wake up trying to own the libs. I don't care about owning the libs. I actually want the libs to come on over to our side and just chill and understand we could all come together and we could agree on some things and we could disagree on some things and coexist in a way that is fun. In fact, our disagreements could actually bring us together to where we have, in the same way that sports fans can cheer for complete and total opposite. If you've got a sports rivalry, I've talked about this recently. It's hard to talk about Cubs Cardinals because that muscle has atrophied. Do we have a rivalry here that is like super popping right now?
No, not really.
Crap.
SLU VCU might be the biggest one.
Well, I was going to say, like, pick a high school rivalry. Pick something around here where you've got some top peak high school rivalries or whatever. But, like, when you're a grown-up, when you're a mature adult, these are the things you talk about and you argue passionately for, full of emotion, and you never, ever, ever are going to convince the other side. No Cardinals fan is ever going to go to a Cubs fan and bring them on the other side. It's not going to happen. You see the world entirely differently. But yet, you engage in those conversations. You send the snarky text. You go to watch the games together and live and die by every moment, but we can't do it about politics. Like, if you can't, to what Portnoy is saying, if you can't look at this right now as an American and be pumped about it, I think you're beyond repair.
There's no better example than the women's figure skating gold medalist for the U.S., Alyssa Liu, I believe is her name. She's an immigrant, or her father's an immigrant,
China?
I believe. Yeah. And I believe she was also, like Eileen Gu, was asked to compete for China, and she said no. But she was, she was showing off she was super excited, American
she was as
flag,
happy as
like,
could possibly
patriotism.
be.
And there were a lot of, accounts out there saying, man, I love this. I love that she's showing us. And then there was Democrat accounts that on X that were saying, oh, they really don't get that she's super woke.
Are you like me where you see those Twitter accounts? I don't even think that they're Americans. I don't think that those people are real at this point.
It really makes you wonder.
A percentage of them are fake. A percentage of them are real. But I'm just like, that's so crazy. I don't believe you.
Or they've gotten to that echelon of influencers that their entire job is just to stoke people.
It's just to farm engagement.
But I was so happy. I was so happy by the response of a lot of people saying it doesn't matter who she votes for.
Moving on.
She's representing our country, and she's doing it with a smile on her face and with pride. And I think that's what people are refreshed by.
And
by
a gold
these
medal
Winter
around her
Olympics.
neck.
Yes.
Which she could have been doing for the other side. Here's more from Portland.
What do you expect? But hockey Twitter, and hockey Twitter specifically, the softest group of people on the planet. So I had to get that out. And even the Kash Patel, that's going viral. People are mad he's there. I feel like at all Olympics, you see presidents, secretary of state, so with the director of FBI. Let me tell you something. If I'm the director of the FBI and they invite me into the locker room, I will be there in the locker room. But you always see politicians. Why are people suddenly mad he's there? There's politicians across the world.
So here's a question I have. Just in follow-up, we're going to take a break after this. We can discuss more. Your thoughts on Kash Patel. I'm wondering, do 80% of you folks listening right now not even know that Kash Patel was in the locker room and we're making a big thing out of something you don't even care about? Maybe that's the case, which is why we have 2 answers in the YouTube poll today where it's like, I don't care. What's your reaction to Kash Patel in the locker room after the U.S. men's hockey team won gold? Highly inappropriate. Who cares? Loved it. USA, or not watching any Olympics. Don't care. Here's where I want to get to. When you're looking at Kash Patel being in this locker room and people are wondering what he's doing, why he's there, where is this energy? When you're looking at the FBI director who has a responsibility in where was the Milan? Milan.
I
Okay.
also said Munich too.
I was going to say.
Well, AOC was in Munich.
Yes,
so.
well, that's where I'm going with this. Milan has the Olympics. Of course, you're going to have our highest level security present and having a strong voice in there. So, of course, he's going to be there. Why would he not go be at this facility when this game is happening? What is the matter with that? Was he needed somewhere else to do something else? Was he not doing his job? Is it wrong for him to be happy and to be celebrating? Because here's my question for you. Where's your frustration, California, when Gavin Newsom is watching his state burn and he's in Munich trashing the president of the United States and essentially everything that America stands for? Where is your frustration, New York, when AOC is not helping Congress figure out a way to not shut down, helping the government figure out a way to not shut down? She's in Munich trying to decide if we want China to take over Taiwan and make Taiwan be absorbed. What will we do there? You got a problem with the FBI director on business being at the Olympics and being present when we win gold, part 2, in men's hockey over Canada. You got a problem with him being in that locker room, but you're celebrating the AOCs and the Gavin Newsoms not doing their job stateside, trashing the United States of America in Munich. Get your priorities straight. Come on, Kash Patel. USA. Go vote in the poll and text us your thoughts. 314-241-9797. Back in a minute.
President Trump gives his address to the nation at a joint session of Congress tomorrow night. We're live for President Trump's State of the Union address, starting at 8 and continuing coverage until 11. Sponsored by Corel Roofing and Golden Oak Lending.
Many times, a person hires a law firm after an injury without doing research. It can be a big mistake or not. Sometimes, after you have hired a certain lawyer, you realize you made a certain mistake. But guess what? Just because you hire them doesn't mean you can't fire them. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you think you've hired the wrong firm, you may have. So do this. Google Morgan & Morgan results or visit forthepeople.com for cases just like yours. You may find that our full-service injury firm should have been your choice in the first place. Last year, almost 12,000 people discharged their law firm and hired us after further research. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com today and let's get started. Or call Pound Law on your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-284-1238. 800-284-1238. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-284-1238.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw. When we meet our clients for the first time, they have built up a lifetime of savings. Their question is, what can we do with this money so we can live comfortably the rest of our lives? First, we develop a strategy to protect your nest egg from any market losses. Then we build your own personalized structured income plan that will generate you an income the rest of your life. We put you in control of your money.
You've earned it, and it's our job to make sure you enjoy it. Let our team show you how you can have the retirement of your dreams. Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. You will also get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees retire with confidence for 40 years. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
The Annie Fry Show is St. Louis conservative.
Wiggins! Monday Roundup! Yeah! This here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Hey, we're getting a lot of comments. Thank you very much, especially on the text line. I'm following that 314-241-9797. If you want to weigh in on the YouTube live chat poll, what is your reaction to Kash Patel in the locker room after U.S. men's hockey team won gold? Just a couple here. Just a couple real quick. First one says, awesome. Who cares? Kash Patel, All-American. The next one, the left is filled with miserable weirdos.
Good summation there.
There you go.
I wonder how Kash Patel seems to me to be a pretty polarizing figure in the administration. People on the right love him and hate him. And I wonder, it's like if he were universally loved, if it were Marco Rubio in there, I don't know that people would be worked up about it.
Right. Oh, one
or
more.
J.D. Vance.
One more. It says, if I was Kash, I would have been doing keg stands in the locker room. Bunch of crybaby libs.
I think the only reason he wasn't is I don't know if I saw any kegs.
Yeah, he probably would have.
Can you imagine if it would have
He
been
was
like
chugging beers.
Can you imagine if it would have been like Scott Bessent in there? Like, I'm trying to think of how he would have been
He'd been
reacting
fighting
in
them.
that
He gets in
atmosphere.
fights with everybody.
I think Scott Bessent is the happiest person in the cabinet. There's this video of him, I think it was, I don't know if it was when he was on the Will Cain show or whatever, but he strolls into the room, he sachets, and when he's there, he's like, hello, everybody. Happy for you to meet Scott Bessent. He just like presents himself with this air of excessive confidence that because I'm on his side, love. I would not like it if I were on the other side, but I would love to see Scott Bessent cutting loose.
Hello, I'm happy for you to meet me. I'm the Treasury Secretary and the head of the IRS.
Yep.
All right, this is the Monday Roundup, everything you missed from over the weekend. The first one is that new reports suggest that 20% of U.S. jobs are highly vulnerable to robots and automation coming soon, although it's not as soon as you might think. They're saying over the next 20 years, the most vulnerable sectors are the obvious ones. It's the ones that are actually being replaced right now, like coding, anything to do with computers.
We are like a dozen years away from everyone being like, learn to code.
Uh-huh.
We're going to get rid of all of your jobs. Learn to code. If now would be about the time where you are maybe getting into your, like, okay, I went to learn to code. I got the entry-level job. You'd probably be hitting your stride right about now. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's really great. The rest of the jobs that they are saying, though, they're a little off the radar for being vulnerable in the next 20 years, so it's not going away right away.
Broadcaster. Oh, no.
No, they said we will be more valuable than ever and should get pay raises.
Okay.
That's from CBS.
Send it on up the chain.
I did. No, it says manufacturing, accommodation and catering, retail, wholesale.
I'm surprised retail because
Me too.
You can inventory and you can stock shelves and you can check yourself out of a store and never have to, like, no humans have to be involved.
Right. Wholesale and trade and extraction, although a lot of these things.
What is extraction?
I'm not sure. I guess that would be mining. A lot of these
Seems
things
like
though,
that would be robot centered as well.
have to do with logistics. So figuring out the logistics of how to do that, those portions of those jobs would be going away, probably with retail more than anything. All right, next one is a bit of a mystery. This is a political story. And I'm going to share it with you, and I'm going to find out if you know anything else, because as of right now, we don't really know. But Trump, over the weekend, said on February 21st, that would have been Saturday, that he was working with Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry to send a hospital boat to Greenland.
Yeah.
And he did it in a speech that wasn't about that. And so there was no real follow-up. And we don't really know why he's sending a hospital boat to Greenland or why he's working with Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry to do so. But it all is, of course, part of the intrigue of Greenland right now. And we still don't know. The U.S. Navy has 2 hospital
Greenland
ships.
said no.
They did? Okay, that's news. I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah, that was news today.
Okay.
The story.
Greenland said they don't want it.
When's the story from?
This is from last night, and it's about Trump's comments on Saturday.
Now, this is from last night from the AP 23 hours ago. Thanks, but no thanks. Trump's hospital ship plan provokes defense of Greenland healthcare system. It's a no thank you from here. Greenlandic, which is a phrase I'd never heard before. Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen said.
All right.
It's a no thank you from here. They
All right.
passed.
We're not supposed to mention Nielsen on the radio.
Is that a Trump rule? Is he the Greenlandic prime minister?
I don't know. Next one. Now, this one is actually about a week old, but it's one that I stored up because I thought this is a really interesting story, and it's a local story that became national news. Stop me if you've heard it. A toddler was rescued from inside a claw machine after somehow climbing inside to play while at a recreational center in Webster Groves, Missouri. It made national news. On Saturday, February 7th, Meg King brought her 2-year-old son Cooper to the soccer dome in Webster Grove to watch his brother play. She told local news outlet First Alert 4 that she briefly looked away while Cooper was pretending to play with the claw machine. Moments later, she heard someone yelling that he was inside and playing with the toy balls. And she said she looked away for maybe 15 seconds. Look back. He's fully in the claw machine, throwing the balls around everywhere. And here's the best part. They said they went to him and said, Cooper, try to go back down, and he shook his head no. He was having too much fun in the claw machine. Now, the tough thing about getting somebody out of a claw machine is a lot of times the vendor is not on site. So you can't just go unlock it because that's how they fill the prizes. You just unlock the machine.
Someone's got to come.
You got to call the vendor to get there. So the police arrived, the fire trucks arrived, and they still couldn't get him out. I mean, they could have. They just broke it, but they didn't want to break the machine. So they had to wait for the vendor to show up. But meanwhile, Cooper had a great time.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like it was the best day of that kid's life.
It sounds like it was. So local boy makes good. Just wanted to share that with the national news there. All right, next one is, why does scratching an itch work? There is new reports that go deeper into why scratching itches work, and it's because there's a negative feedback signal that tells us we're satisfied. The feedback signal is linked to some ion channel, and they're getting very deep here, but basically it's a response to mechanical stimulation. And here's what I find interesting about this. Did you, as I was reading this story, feel like you needed to scratch an itch?
No.
I didn't either.
Because usually the researchers say the minute you start talking about it, then you feel like you have the sensation somewhere. Now, everybody listening, if you just felt like you needed to scratch an itch,
I just scratched my leg.
Text in to 314
Oh my God.
241 97.
Or not. Like, I don't need people texting us that they need to scratch themselves.
I do. I need that.
It's not really
like he needs air to breathe.
Exactly.
Good use of our.
So last one is dad was slammed for blaming Southwest Airlines for not seating him with his toddler. I just bring this up because I have a flight coming up, and I want to know if the federal government has to seat me with my kid or if I have to pay more to get Southwest airline tickets now. Are you worried about this at all?
No, you buy a seat that sits your child next to you, which any responsible parent would do.
Well, I am not that responsible.
Okay.
Because
So
I
it's on you.
want Southwest to do it for me. So, and that's what
Not
the
that hard though. Like that's such a stupid policy.
Well, it's all with this. Southwest has changed everything. It used to be general boarding, and now everybody's kind of trying to figure out how to do it with the new system, including me. And I just want people to identify with me to say that they're cheap and they don't want to have to pay for their kid to sit next
Hey,
to them.
just want to pass along. Just had a buddy text me and wanted to inform you guys that he's scratching his nose really hard right now.
Outside of it?
I would hope so. He didn't specify.
Please get clarification.
Will do. I'll pass it along.
Thank you very much. 314-241-9797.
Are you done?
Take it away, Annie.
I think I will take it from here. Steve
yeah.
Moore on the Annie Fry Show next. YouTube live chat poll. What I'd actually like you to text us about at 314-241-9797. Your reaction to Kash Patel in the locker room after the men's hockey team wins gold. Don't go away. Back in a minute.
100 years. That's how long Overhead Door Company of St. Louis has been repairing and replacing garage doors. A century of trust in St. Louis. Always look for the iconic red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis for same-day repair service and no extra charge for evening or Saturday service. Trust your friends at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
When it comes to lighting, Gray Bar goes beyond parts and products. We help contractors turn plans into smart designs, manage kitting and deliverables, and navigate local codes so you can stay on time and on budget. Smart, scalable, job site ready. That's not just lighting. That's like kicking your project into Gray Bar mode. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stiefel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
For Nick Reiner, I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The son of director Rob Reiner charged with killing both of his parents in December.
Nick Reiner appeared in a brown LA County jail shirt and sat listening to proceedings from public partition. New
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Don't let that full sun fool you. It is windy and it is cold across St. Louis as we go through the afternoon. 34 for the afternoon high. That is it. Tonight, partly cloudy and cold. 22, the winds go light. Tuesday, partly sunny. A fast warm-up after a cold start. 55 Tuesday afternoon. 59 on Wednesday. Rain showers late Wednesday night and Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
He is ineligible for bail. Outside court, District Attorney Nathan Hochman said Reiner is eligible for the death penalty, and they will consider that after hearing from Reiner's attorney.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal, a preliminary hearing date set for April 29th. The former UK ambassador to the U.S., Peter Mandelson, now under arrest on suspicion of misconduct in public office. More fallout from the Jeffrey Epstein files, also turning more attention to how much the British Prime Minister knew when Mandelson was appointed.
So there are big questions being asked about how much Keir Starmer knew the Prime Minister and what his future holds as well. And then we're still hearing the questions within
the winds. That's another thing.
Fox Weather's Bob Van Dillen along the Jersey Shore.
74-mile-per-hour wind gusts in central Long Island by Stony Brook, Nantucket, and 83-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Neptune, New Jersey, we're still under a band of snow. It's been coming down at a rate of 1 to 2 inches per hour for the last 7 hours. Not including what happened last night.
More than 600,000 power outages in multiple states, more than 20,000 flights disrupted, and Broadway shows in New York dark for a second night. America's listening to Fox News.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need...
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Don't let that full sun fool you. It is windy and it is cold across St. Louis as we go through the afternoon. 34 for the afternoon high. That is it. Tonight, partly cloudy and cold. 22, the winds go light. Tuesday, partly sunny. A fast warm-up after a cold start. 55 Tuesday afternoon. 59 on Wednesday. Rain showers late Wednesday night and Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. If your furnace breaks down, call Air Comfort Service for a $99 call. And don't forget, if your furnace breaks, even on a weekend, Air Comfort Service offers 24/7 emergency service. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're happy to be with you this afternoon. I was a little bit ticked off at the cold today. Did you? Every morning in our house, the kids are getting up for school, and someone's like, "What's the temperature today?" And when that question is asked, you would like to think it's February, it's going to be cold, dress warmly. But we've had 70-degree weather lately, and of course, it's St. Louis. We do this every year. We shouldn't be surprised by it. But when it gets cold outside, it needs to be like 30 degrees cold. When I looked at my phone and it said 16 degrees, I looked at it like, I don't think I'm awake enough yet. Does this really say 16 degrees? It was really cold outside.
I get mad because I want to leave my house dressed warmly, but with no coat. I want to get to the point where, we just had 72 degrees the other day. I can walk outside the house wearing a hoodie. I don't have to take a coat with me. But that is not the case when it's 16 degrees.
It certainly isn't, and especially with kids. So 16 degrees outside. I'm trying to pull up. What's the temperature right now? Did it get any warmer? Because that was at like 7 a.m.
It was supposed to be up to like 35 today.
Ooh, a high of not freezing.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yay.
We're talking in the poll today about Kash Patel being in the locker room. Dave Portnoy said in the clip that we played at about 12:40 on the show, he's like, if you're looking at Kash Patel being in there and being mad about it, like I don't even know why you would be mad about it. And I kind of asked this question in passing when you were giving some of the feedback from the text messages that we were getting in. And if you want to send your thoughts, 314-241-9797, you can text us, 314-241-9797, your thoughts on Kash Patel being in the locker room after the United States men's hockey team won the gold. I'm not 100% sold on Kash Patel, but I trust President Trump. So there are things that I would really like to see happening differently or more aggressively. I'm much more keyed in on Pam Bondi as not doing enough as I am Kash Patel. But Kash Patel is not somebody who I would like argue with somebody who was trying to tell me that they were not great at their job. I wouldn't like really stress out over trying to persuade someone, not persuade, but like defend my support for Kash Patel. The right people who I trust seem to be supportive of him. And with that being the case, it's kind of like, okay, fine, I'm not going to stress about it. But I wonder how much of the frustration of him being there is partnered with people's concern that he's not doing the job that they want to see him doing. And I think the Epstein files are at the epicenter of all of that.
100%.
Pam Bondi, though, man, I have never, when Pam Bondi was nominated, I was like, oh, fine. I've never been excited about that. But, you know, the phrase that often gets used is bulldog. I want somebody who's running the Justice Department. I want them to just be nails on all of the things that need to be handled and managed. And I'm trying specifically to not feel like it's a female thing. I'm trying not to look at her and the fact that she's a woman, I think people have used that in a way that they think that she's softer spoken or whatever. She's got a very high pitch to her voice. She doesn't like Tulsi Gabbard to me kind of carries a resonance. She's military. She is incredibly collected. And the way she presents herself makes me feel like she's in command. I know people are here and there on her as well. But Pam Bondi has just never been that person. But just because her tone of voice is a certain way doesn't mean that she's not capable of doing the job. But the Pam Bondi Epstein files thing, wasn't that where they handed out binders to influencers? Yes. And like, I've got them on my desk right now. And it's just like, wow, we didn't. It seems like where we are with this has been such an unforced error in the delivery of it that I've been very clear on this from the beginning. I want Ron DeSantis to be the Attorney General, and I would be so pumped if he's completing his final year, his term-limited final year as governor in the state of Florida. And I just think, come on over, Mr. DeSantis. We'd love to have you.
I want him to be anything. That guy is
employed,
hyper effective. He's so good at being a governor. He gets stuff done in ways that no other governor, even really good governors, don't. He's that good at it. And by the way, I don't think it has anything to do with Pam Bondi being a woman. And I would evidence that by first saying that I think Tulsi Gabbard has done a great job. And second, I think Assistant AG Harmeet Dillon has done a great job. Both of them obviously
Are you just listing women?
I'm the only two women I can possibly think of that were doing great jobs. No, I think both of them are in that sphere, and they're doing great work. And either one of them I would be glad to see in that position.
You want Harmeet Dillon and Tulsi Gabbard to be the
Harmeet Dillon
Attorney
specifically,
General?
I would like to see her as the Attorney General. She's very good.
I think she's good, but I don't think I think that would be a distraction from the work she's doing because she's very engaged in her lane on like civil liberties, and she's very focused, and she's really done an incredible job. Like, people will post to her X account and be like, Harmeet Dillon, will you please check into this? And she's like, beep, boop, beep. I will be checking into this today. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Do you think the flexibility she has to be able to look into those things benefits her?
I think she's in a lane that she's the fastest sprinter, and she knows, and she's fearless. The justice, being the attorney general, is a political position. I mean, you have to make decisions, but it is a forward, public-facing job. And so, to that point, maybe Pam Bondi would be much better served in a more tailored role for her, where the presentation, we say this all the time, like Barack Obama was supposed to be this incredibly well-spoken, charismatic, articulate politician who just charmed people and wooed people with his ability to speak to the people. And I just thought it kind of comes off as smarmy. Like, I don't need you to sell me on something. I don't know if you guys can relate to this. Maybe you can. You're in a bar and some smooth-talking guy walks up to you and tries to impress you with the way that they lay it on thick, and it's just like, ew. That's not the guy that you want to spend. You don't. That guy's trying to win something, and it might just be the proof that he could get your attention.
Ethan's nodding.
Or his vote.
I was at the bar the other day, and Ryan Wiggins walked up to me. I was like, whoa,
How
dude.
was his game?
Easy. Surprisingly impressive.
Oh, God.
I was trying to get free drinks, though. I wasn't buying anybody anything.
You being the dude hitting on women to try to get free drinks is about the most Ryan Wiggins thing I can think of. Hey, how about you buy me a drink?
Let's get to know each other a little bit. You got any money?
Yeah. I really want to try this in a video.
You got. I'll tell you the secret.
To get Mrs. Wiggins' approval.
You come in.
It's for the
jean
show.
Shorts chopped off.
No.
And you walk
Some
up
guys.
with
How
confidence.
short?
Hi. Hi. And then you say, hi.
Oh, my God.
I don't think that I don't think Pam Bondi is going to last the length of the administration. I don't think that that's going to happen. And like whoever gets in there next, there's no way that Ron DeSantis wouldn't get approved by the Senate. They would have. Here's the other thing. I'm worried that if the Senate goes away from the Republicans, even if they still hold a majority, but if after this election, it's a favorable map for the Republicans, but after this election, if they have less of a majority there, that it would be harder for Donald Trump to get somebody else approved, which then the president would just appoint an acting attorney general, which could still be Ron DeSantis. But we're getting to that midpoint of his second term where I think some of these decisions need to be made. Like, is this the long haul thing, or do we need to make a change here? I know that the president will do that when he feels necessary, but the Epstein files is starting to slowly, but is starting to take a few more people down. I know that a lot of people are talking about Prince Andrew, no longer Prince Andrew. What's his last? Like, what do we just call him? Andrew? It's kind of a.
He's got a last name. I can't remember what it is though.
It ain't gonna be King.
No.
Ooh.
He's like completely been cut off, and it seems as though, I guess, is it Prince William and Kate? Like, people are implying that he moved away from the palace and everything because he didn't want to be a party to a lot of this stuff. I think the tentacles of all of the people who get wrapped up in the Epstein files, which is why are people on X scrolling through the Epstein files to find things and posting it and then it having any ramifications towards other people? Like, why hasn't that already been done? Why does it take internet sleuths who are going to be right probably less than 50% of the time, and who in the midst of it are creating a ton of very wild conspiracies that nobody has gone out there and really proven to be wrong? That's a conversation we have off the air quite a bit. Like, how much of this stuff do we really believe was happening? There are allegations of baby eating that just exist in the discussion of what took place with the Epstein files. There's codes that are suggested that are being used in the Epstein files. Is that accurate? Can somebody please come out and dispel that this is false and that everything that is being discussed is on the nose, being discussed for exactly what it is? I'm sure it's not, but I don't know what to believe. And I need somebody to go, that's ridiculous. Of course they're not talking about that, but that's not happening. Not from some high level sort of validating place of knowledge and experience of people who have had evidence and who have investigated these things. It just seems like this Epstein files thing is just being let out to it's like it consumes the room with its foul stench, and everybody knows that it's there and nobody really knows how to make it go away, and nobody's claiming it.
Yep. Nobody's naming it or claiming it.
Lovely.
Doorknob.
Oh.
You know who's been really right about this stuff a lot along the whole way, though, is Elon Musk. The stuff that he has tweeted and said about the Epstein stuff, and one of the more recent ones that I thought, man, that deserves a lot of attention. Because people always ask, well, why aren't the victims, why do we have one victim, Virginia Giuffre, who is now dead? Why do we have her as her testimony is the only one that's bringing anybody down? You have all these other supposed victims. Well, he said it's because Epstein and company were smart enough that once those victims were underage and they turned 18, they would loop them into the crimes.
Yeah. There's just a lot of discussion, a lot of allegation. Elon Musk was somebody who was if you're of a high, powerful stature in power and generally speaking hand in hand in economic strength like Elon Musk, they wanted you in the club, and the worst thing you could be was know about the club and be like, I'm good on the club. And Elon Musk rebuffed those invitations, according to Elon Musk, when they were provided to him, and it looks like Donald Trump did too. I just think that it's like, if you want to start something and you want to distract people, you just let all of these things simmer at the same time, because you know some of it is true and most of it isn't. But if you let it all just fester, then it gets a little bit harder to get to the truth. And if you're somebody who's trying to find the truth and you kind of cling on to something that is not true, then people can discredit everything about what you're doing or saying because you took an avenue that wasn't proven to be completely false. But while it's parallel to the thing that is true, you look like a fool because you globbed onto the thing that wasn't. And that just feels very, very intentional. I just wish that if you had a fresh face come in to the Justice Department and say, all right, we're laying it out, we're getting this on track, and put it all out there, it really feels to me like every time we're pounding our fists on the table, more Epstein files, it's coming now from the left. And the indication is that Donald Trump is at the heart and soul of the Epstein files. It was not of any interest or import to these people who are screaming for them when Joe Biden was the president for 4 years or any time leading up to it. And the nefarious activity that appears as though other Democrats were actually involved in, they're not even talking about it. It doesn't even come up in the discussion. But meanwhile, you're like, Donald Trump has mentioned this many times in the Epstein files. And then you've got Whoopi Goldberg of The View putting up a letter on the big screen behind all the ladies of The View. And the ladies are cackling in the background like, oh, yep, anybody can be in the Epstein files. Just because your name is listed doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. And then Whoopi Goldberg is saying, listen, I wasn't his girlfriend. And I, didn't have anything to do with it. They're just discussing the fact that that they were trying to get me a jet, a G2 or whatever it was. I don't know. They were talking about jets in a way that I'm like, you don't understand how elitist you sound. talking about jets, and I don't even get the lingo. The whole point of that segment on The View was to say that there are going to be a lot of names in here and people didn't do anything wrong. And then they will go to the next segment and they will talk about how Trump is in the Epstein files X amount of times when they've just discredited that entire argument because they've defended the fact that Whoopi's name was in there, but she didn't do anything wrong. And she's the one who said she wanted to call it out into the open because her name is a part of rumors and discussion. The hypocrisy is so rampant and is so disgusting. If somebody did something wrong, they need to be held accountable for it. I don't understand why even, President Trump saying before the last tranche of files was released, people are going to have their names be put out there in the mix of everything, and they didn't do anything wrong. There's no reason not to release that, because if the files don't show that they did something wrong, but their name is in there, we are capable of reading and understanding that this web of people, all of these social connections could be discussing something. There are news reports in emails. Do you get a hotline? Do you get a news email every day from Fox News or The Blaze or something like that, where it's here are the headlines of the day? Those types of things are in the Epstein files. And of course, you're going to have all sorts of names because they're just news headlines in an email that got sent to Jeffrey Epstein or forwarded to Jeffrey Epstein. So when Trump was saying, if we do this, there's a lot of people's names who are included in here that didn't do anything wrong and their name's going to be besmirched. I mean, that's not really Donald Trump's to protect. If they didn't do anything wrong, they didn't do anything wrong. And reasonable American people are able to discern this name being in here for one reason versus another, and being able to dig deep and go call out those people who are involved in really nefarious crimes. The irony here is it's the Whoopi Goldbergs, it's the Views of the world who have tried to say, if your name is in the Epstein files, you are a pedophile, you are a disgusting human being, you should be tried and hanged. All of the different terrible things that just by virtue of being associated with the Epstein files, that makes you guilty of all the things, of which we can't define what those things are publicly. And then Whoopi Goldberg's name in, and she's like, oh, except for this one. I'm really sick and tired of all of this stuff, like I said, existing like a stench in the room, and nobody knows how to get rid of it. It's affecting everybody. It's distracting. Everybody's thinking about it, but we can't get to the bottom of it and make the stink go away. And I see a lot of people in my orbit who are very, very bought into the worst of the worst conspiracies, and they're very troubled by it. They are mentally disturbed, and if you know what those different types of conspiracies are, and if you buy into it, and I'm not saying I don't, I'm saying, can somebody please say why this is not real? To think that those things are happening and to see nothing being done about it, it's like, what even matters? If we can't call out these absolutely horrible, horrific crimes, name them, name the people, and handle it accordingly, then what are we even doing? It's causing a lot of people, it's the only thing that matters to a lot of people. Do you know anybody like that in real life?
Yeah, several. And the problem is,
they're on both sides of the aisle, too.
They are now. The problem is that I'm going to say, why wasn't anything done about this for a long time? And I'm not just talking about Biden's term. I'm not even making it a political. Why wasn't anything done about
He was arrested in, like, what, 27?
Yeah, it was during Trump's first term. But I'm not even trying to make a political point. I'm just saying, why wasn't anything done about these crimes by people in power for a long time, even if they weren't implicated in them?
He was arrested in July of 2006.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, he pled guilty, or he, got a deal that was an admission of certain things in 2006. He was arrested again on July 6th of 2019 on a federal charges of sex trafficking and conspiracy to commit sex trafficking of minors. That was in 2019. But that was 13 years after the original one. So it's not like, yes, to your point, like Democrats want to be mad at Donald Trump because they think he's not being transparent. They didn't even care between 2020 and 2024. Not even a concern to them. I don't know. The Epstein files, man. Need some clarification, need some action as well. Let's take a break. Be back in a minute.
And you don't have to change a thing. The world could change. It's hard. No scars, see you're beautiful. The stars are we're beautiful.
Seems like this weather is going to continue. Cold weather is going to continue here in St. Louis and Illinois for the foreseeable future to finish out the winter. Now, if you have been unlucky or you don't want to wait till you're unlucky and you need your furnace fixed or even replaced, call me. We can get you a furnace next day. Sometimes we, depending on the manufacturer, it's not us, but just depending on the manufacturer, if they have the parts available, and here in St. Louis or Illinois, we can get you that day. But either way, if you're having problems with your furnace or you want to prevent problems with your furnace, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number, the easiest number in Missouri and Illinois, just one number. That number is 314-293-2600. Again, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, it's Bart Inman. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
It all comes down to this, folks. Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain. Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast. Speaking of fast, did you just see that play? Yeah, he vaporized that ball. That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
There's no better way to upgrade your backyard than by calling my friends at Chesterfield Fence and Deck Company. Mark Cox here, locally owned and operated for 58 years now, and it is a sign you have the very best because they're so proud of what they do. They offer fences, of course, and decks, and sunrooms, and screen rooms, and patios, retaining walls, and so much more. Chesterfield Fence and Deck takes so much pride in what they do because they've done it for so many people. When they come over to your house, they'll give you a free estimate, no obligation, free project design. They'll take out their digital photo gallery of completed projects and let you see what other people are doing, and then you can make it your own. When they do their work, they give you a 5-year labor warranty and a comprehensive material warranty, and they're highly rated with the Better Business Bureau, of course. Reach out to them today. Tell them you heard about it from Mark Cox. You're going to get 48 months interest-free financing on your next project. Go to chesterfieldfence.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
You'll say we've got nothing in common, no common ground to start from, and we're falling apart. You'll say the world has come between us, our lives have come between us. Still I know you just don't care.
I told you, Canada's got nothing. They got nothing. They got nothing. Those curling, yeah, take the curling gold medal. You got nothing. You got nothing. You got nothing. USA. USA. You got nothing. You got nothing. USA.
Oh, man.
Such a menace.
He looks like a homeless man from the streets who just found his new love for his country.
Yeah, he looks like Randy Quaid.
It's Dave Portnoy celebrating the men's hockey team's win for gold in the Olympics over Canada. And I'm going to be honest, that's the first video. That's what pulled me in. We had left church, had to go run an errand, and I opened Twitter while my husband was driving, and I saw him being super pumped. I'm like, what is going on that Portnoy is acting like this early on a Sunday morning? And I was like, oh, wait. Did we win the gold? And I didn't even know the game was happening. And then there was just a whole bunch of that.
You need to go back and watch the highlights. You need to take 10 minutes and watch
Ethan,
it. 10 minutes.
Ethan, I am a woman who loves sports. I love competition. I can't. Here's the thing. Out of respect for the skills and the talent that go into hockey, it all looks difficult to me. If something is incredibly amazing, I can't tell the difference. So, like, if I'm watching a basketball game, like, we're not going to talk about Illinois for a bit.
Are you sure? We can.
Yeah. They're not killing it in overtime. But, if I'm watching a basketball game and somebody makes a sick move to the basket or hits a three under pressure and it's a, fadeaway three, like, I know, okay, that guy, they ran a set. They got the ball on the lower part of the key, and they hit the three that they've practiced that 8 bazillion times. But then there are some things that happen that are just special because these people are freaks of nature. I don't know what those things are in hockey, and I've tried, and I just can't get into it.
They are calling this, they being a lot of big-name hockey people, the greatest hockey game of all time.
I have been told, based on feedback on X, that Canada was the better team, but the United States just won the game.
Correct.
And that Canada played better in the game, but the United States just won the game.
They had several opportunities where you're like, how did they not score on that?
My favorite part about that was that somebody correlated to it's like winning the popular vote, but not the Electoral College. And I was like, I understand that.
Yeah, very
That
good.
is exactly how, what takes the gold home? Who gets the Oval Office? I understand these things. Is there any part of Portnoy's celebration there, Ryan, that is excessive to you? He's literally, if you haven't seen the video, he's running around his house, and I'm looking to build a house, so I'm always looking at like different things. So I'm kind of like looking in the background of his fixtures and stuff to see what kind of nice things that a man who's got $1 bazillion buys. But he's running around his house. He hasn't brushed his hair in 20 hours. It's flopping all over the place, and he just keeps yelling.
I told you, Canada's got nothing.
Is it extra American to revel in the fact that the United States beat Canada for the gold medal in the Olympics?
Yes.
Is it good to be overjoyed and thrilled that the United States won, but that Canada lost?
Yes. And I'll tell you why. Because that's their sport. And it's not the political atmosphere. It's not that stuff. It's because that's their bread and butter. And you win in and you beat them at their master sport. And that's why it's so satisfying. It's like if you beat some other country, if you beat something, you beat China at something involving pandas. Like, that's their thing. That's their thing.
Ping pong. That's
hey,
their
there you
sport.
go. That's a good one. So if you beat somebody at their titular sport, that's why it's so satisfying. But also, I think anytime the Winter Olympics come up, and I don't know if this is you guys or if it's just us, I do see a lot of clips from it. So I'm thinking maybe it's not just me. But Miracle on Ice, anytime the U.S. hockey team is playing in the Olympics, people of a generation that's a little older than ours get pretty fired up and be like, let's do it. And you start seeing the clips. We watched the movie this year as a family. You get a little bit fired up about USA hockey. There's something there. Because we're good at it, we're not the favorite. And I think that's why.
Is it I'm taking the sports world and I'm trying to observe the sports world from a non-sports perspective. Isn't it kind of hateful to want to see Canada go down? Shouldn't you just cheer for your team to succeed and not need the extra spice in the pie where it's Canada that goes down? Ethan?
You could say that about literally any single rivalry in any single sport. I mean, are you telling me that when the Cardinals aren't playing the Cubs that you shouldn't want the Cubs to lose? Is that what I'm hearing?
I think that non-sports people think that's the case. I mean,
think that's silly.
in the woke version of society that we've been living in, I mean, what you should really do at the end of the game is celebrate the loser.
I think that's why
it's un-American.
There's a correlation between the sort of crazy, like, eagle stomping on the duck.
The Canadian goose.
And
that
goose.
matters. It's
okay.
not a duck.
Fine.
No, it's a Canadian goose.
Canadian goose. There's a correlation between those things and testosterone.
Well, sure.
And yes, you can make that political if you want to. In fact, people have done studies recently in saying, look, the higher your testosterone, the more likely you are to be a conservative right now. But I'm not even making that point. I'm just saying that there's
That's besides the point.
There's something to that is very under-celebrated in our current society, that when you get the chance in a moment like this, it's extra sweet because you're not only celebrating the victory, you're celebrating being able to celebrate the victory in a big way.
Well, that's what I was saying a little bit earlier in the show, too. Like, if you scrolled through social media, wherever your social media, I mean, Facebook is a little too tame for immediate crazy reactions. But there were men sitting, again, Dave Portnoy, he looks like he's in his PJs because he probably is. Because what time did the game start, Ethan?
7:10 a.m. Central Time.
And it was over at maybe around 10?
9:45.
Yeah. I was in the car a little bit after 10. So you got people who are pulling themselves, crawling out of bed to watch this game. And then you're in your house acting like a fool because somebody else won a game. You didn't practice for it. You didn't play for it. You didn't put the time and the blood and the sweat and the teeth into accomplishing that, but you identify with it. There's something about it that pulls you in, that causes you to identify with the win and the loss, that you would have felt the loss as well as feeling like you got to participate in the win. And I do think it's testosterone related. I do think that there's something about going into battle and coming out successful. Also knowing when you go into battle and come out successful, how many times you went into battle and you didn't. You cannot feel the true gratification, the true just adrenaline-ridden joy of competing and achieving without fully understanding what it's like to fall short. And, I mean, to succeed at the level of an Olympic gold medal in hockey or something like that, the amount of times that these guys have been on teams where they've fallen short, countless, I'm sure, countless times in their lifetime leading up to that moment where they've fallen short. What was the last time they won a gold medal?
1980.
80?
Miracle was the last time, 46 years ago.
There's just some sort of like tribal thing that exists. And, you know, we talk about testosterone. I don't think it's a man thing. I think it's a person thing. And I think the way you see men celebrate it and the way you see women celebrate it's going to be a little bit different. But all over my feeds, people just like, what else would happen to make you bolt out your door carrying an American flag just down through your neighborhood into the streets? You know, running around your house, videoing yourself celebrate something like this. And then you have this HuffPost article from this Monica Torres, and she's saying, if waving the American flag or chanting USA turns you off right now, you're not alone. While President Donald Trump's deportation agenda separates families and federal agents detain 5-year-olds and kill unarmed civilians, American athletes are winning medals on behalf of the nation at the Olympics right now. This whiplash between pride for the United States competitors and national shame for the federal government is common. Even U.S. Olympians competing in the 2026 Milan Cortina Games in Italy feel ambivalent about representing the Stars and Stripes. How incredibly boring and lame to live your life like that. Let's talk more about it when we come back. Don't go away. Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan. Reach out to Stewie if you need a mortgage, new mortgage, a mortgage refinance. You've got the right guy at 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. He can help you get that new mortgage where you can take some equity out of your house, do that mortgage refinance with the Bagel Loan, and pay $0 in closing costs. So you need to finish up the basement. You need to redo the bathroom. You need to pay down some high-interest credit card debt, or maybe you want to take a vacation, and you got a ton of equity in your home. Go through Stewart's American Mortgage and get a Bagel Loan and get that equity into your pocket, out of your house, and do it at no dollars in closing cost to you. He picks those up for you so you don't have to pay for them at all. There's no tricks. People ask me in my personal life, okay, Annie, I know you say no closing costs. Is that really the way it goes? Yeah, I'm not lying to you here. No closing costs. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. You can Google the Bagel Loan to find out more information on how Stewie and the Bagel Loan can help you. NMLS number 226715.
Did you know replacing old vinyl windows with more vinyl windows might not be the best choice? Hi, it's Kim, and I'm here to tell you about Infinity from Marvin Windows, because these fiberglass windows, they're energy efficient, they're beautiful, and they're custom built to fit your home perfectly. The team at Lakeside Renovation and Design just makes the process so easy. I love the fact that they even offer a lifetime workmanship warranty. Look, if you're tired of drafts, high energy bills, or maybe hard to open windows, now's the time to upgrade. Visit windowsbylakeside.com to schedule your free consultation today.
We're asking you today, what is your reaction to Kash Patel in the locker room after the U.S. men's hockey team won gold? And we are getting a lot of comments. We invite yours as well at 314-241-9797. The options are highly inappropriate. Who cares? Loved it. USA, 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 USA. Or not watching Olympics. Don't care. Let us know. It is 1:39. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
From O'Fallon, Missouri to O'Fallon, Illinois. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Go answer that YouTube live chat poll. Go vote. YouTube.com/@AnnieFry. The Supreme Court's supposed to be ruling on, I think this week, it's possible that the men and women's sports thing is going to be ruled upon. The prediction is 5-4, 6-3 in favor of eliminating men from being able to participate in women's sports. I don't know. This seems like another one of those very, very, very obvious 80-20, 90-10 issues. There is a clip here that I'm going to play for you from 2025 here. Last year, about a year ago, Charles Barkley is talking about men and women's sports. And I want you to take what he says. It's not just about the subject of men and women's sports. Listen to how he approaches his opinion and your right to have yours.
I'm going to make this very simple for you, Dan. Men should not play sports against women. I'm not going to get into all the bullshit that's going on out here in the world today. If anybody think that, I think they're stupid. I'm not, like I say, I support the gay community 100%. I support the transgender community 100%. But I do not, under any circumstances, under zero, think that men should play sports against women. And if anybody have a problem with that, they're going to have to get over it, because I'm not going to change I'm not going to change. I just think it's wrong, period. If people disagree with me, I'm good with that. Hey, we disagree. Yeah. I'm not mad at you. I don't hate you. I'm not going to call you names, because that's just silly and stupid. But I'm never going to think it's all right for men to play sports against women. And I don't even think that's controversial. That's the thing that's funny. Like some of this stuff make, like when you see these debates on television, like, yeah, men shouldn't play sports against women. I'm done. I don't want to hear you try to explain it to me. No, I don't want to hear it. I'm not going to argue with you. Men shouldn't play sports against women. I'm done.
So you listen to Charles Barkley talk here, and there's a few things that he does here that's so incredibly important. First of all, I think he's on the right side of this issue. You probably do as well. A huge percentage of Americans believe that men, biological, born male men, should not be competing against girls. To Charles Barkley's part, I'm done on that issue. There's nothing you're going to say to me that's going to make me change my mind on that. I'm raising 3 athletes, female athletes, and I haven't run into this problem myself, but I can't imagine how I would handle it if I did. Did I tell you what Molly said the other day? I think I said the story on the air. I'll tell it again here real quick. We were walking out of Jensen. She's 13. She's an 8th grader playing basketball. They've got a great team, state tournament coming up here, so they're getting ready for that. Walking out of practice, and Molly goes, Mommy, can I play basketball one day? And I said, yeah. I go, you think you'll be as good as your big sister? And she goes, no, I think I'll be better. And it was just a matter of fact. That's the way the 4-year-old in our house thinks. So we have this competitive thing in our brains and our DNA in our house, and they're going to compete, and I want them to compete fairly. And if they're on a floor and a biological male is posting up against my daughter, is jumping up to hit an outside attack against my daughter, no. Just no. It's not negotiable. So Charles Barkley says, this is what I think about this issue, and there's no arguing about it. It's what I think, and I'm done. That's what he says. But he also is saying 2 other things. One is that this is an obvious thing. The idea that there's a big debate around this, there's really not. It's not even really a controversial thing. It's just kind of common sense. And I appreciate that Charles Barkley a year ago was coming out and saying this, like, this is just kind of an obvious thing. And I don't even really, he basically is taking the wind out of the sails of this is some big controversial issue. He's like, it's pretty obvious to me. And the second thing he says is, if you don't like what I think, I don't care. And if you think differently, I also don't care. We cool. Like, we can go on in our lives and not have to resolve this issue, which when you're dealing with somebody who is, completely, fully given themselves over to the emotional beast that is the woke life, it won't be enough for you to agree with them, to say, I see where you're coming from and I agree with you. There will be penance required indefinitely. The whole, white guilt, the shame that you're supposed to have for your history if you're a white, straight Christian male, the only thing you could do to serve the masters and the far activist, woke, progressive left is to be in constant penance for your existence of who you are as a person, which is really, really rich considering that their advocacy is, in theory, that they're just trying to tell you that these people exist and they should have the right to exist. But you, too, Ethan and Ryan, as white, straight, Christian males, the fact that you exist this way will never, ever be able to compensate for itself. That you will need to make public statements of shame and guilt and penance for it forever and ever. That's the only way they win on this issue, because the only way that they can make this issue continue to be mainstream is to take the masses out there and make you the story instead of the very, 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 very small few who they're trying to suck political power into their own movement, which can change on a dime. They change the flags at the protests just based on the news of the day. They have to make you, straight white Christian men, the story so that it continues to stay mainstream. You have to remember what you have to do for the movement. And the people who they're standing in front of protecting, they can do whatever they want.
And they're just pushing further and further crazy views. And we've let them do it. We as a society have said, yeah, okay, we'll listen. We'll try to be empathetic to all of your needs and wants, to the point where now they're saying, well, if you say I understand that you're a guy, but if you say you feel like a girl, you can play in girls' sports. And it finally crossed the line. And I'm glad Charles Barkley said it, because the whole time he's speaking, I'm thinking, this isn't controversial. And then he goes, this isn't controversial.
Yeah.
This is the least controversial thing you could say.
Now, Charles Barkley isn't white, but I'm pretty sure he's a straight male. I have no idea if he's a Christian or not, but he's not. He is a man of privilege. And I think it would be pretty insulting to Charles Barkley to be like, oh, but you're black. You don't have that privilege. I think he would say, the hell I don't. And what he's doing there is he's taking the wind out of the sails of the movement, saying that they have to play the game the way they say. He's like, I am not interested. I'm moving on. If you're mad about it while I'm walking away, also not my problem. We'll wait and see what the Supreme Court rules on this issue of men playing in women's sports, hopefully this week, maybe right before the State of the Union tomorrow night. Back in a minute.
Come home. work sucks. I know. She left me roses by the stairs. Surprises let me know she cares. Say it.
The Retirement Advisory Group. You find them online at retirementkey.com. These are the folks that usher you into retirement with confidence, with peace of mind. And really what happens is you call and schedule an appointment. You can also go to their website at retirementkey.com. But you can call them at 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494 and talk to the Retirement Advisory Group about setting up an appointment. Now, that appointment is going to cost you nothing, and you're going to have to do nothing when you leave. There's no requirements for you to sit down and listen to what they have to say. But you can learn how they can help you create a personalized structured income plan. You can learn about how to make sure your nest egg is protected from market corrections, but you still get to participate in being connected to those gains. 314-993-9494 is the number to call and schedule your no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. 314-993-9494 online at retirementkey.com.
It's fish fry season on the Mark Reardon Show, and we're inviting you to join us this week. We'll be in Cottleville, the Knights of Columbus. So if that's your neck of the woods, grab a meal and say hello. Fish Fry Fridays on the Mark Reardon Show, sponsored by Apache Village RV.
Midwest winters take a real toll on your garage door. Let my friends at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis come out and perform their 26-point tune-up on your garage door and opener. The work is guaranteed, and it's just one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. No extra charge for evening or Saturday service. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, since 1926, 100 years. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Annie Fry is St. Louis conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. There's just, kind of, I don't know if it's a political hit job or if it's calling a spade, but Gavin Newsom, what is Gavin Newsom for other than Gavin Newsom? Anything you can think of that he's really supportive of?
He really wants that train. That speed train?
The speed train.
He really
That's true. He's for the speed train.
He's for the speed train.
But not enough to get it done.
Yeah, you
no,
don't
he's
want it
been
that
for
bad.
it for like 20 years.
It's part of the idea of the speed.
I looked it up a couple days ago. I'm like, what's the projected timeline on it? It's like still like 10, 15 years away. Like, not even close.
Gavin Newsom was speaking at a black event, being interviewed by by a black guy, essentially. And the way I read this story is the audience was full of black people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm sensitive to the thought that this is a political hit job to Gavin Newsom, in a broader context of whatever he was saying. Is what he's being criticized of right now what he actually did? Was it what he actually was implying? I don't care, because the left would never have those thoughts. They would seize upon the opportunity to do this to anybody. If you had a Republican speaking to a crowd of black individuals, and that Republican said to those black individuals this:
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. And I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech, because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in.
That's not the reason why, but you're correct on the assessment. So the fallout, if you will, of Gavin Newsom speaking at this event is that he's in a crowd full of black people, and he's implying that he's just like all of them, and that his 960 SAT score, which is not one that is particularly impressive, he's essentially saying to all those people that this is a 960 SAT score audience. Yeah. And the fact that they happen to be black is connected, that Gavin Newsom is essentially assuming of the audience a particular thing because of the color of their skin. I don't think that Gavin Newsom thinks about that stuff. I actually think that the political hit job that is happening to him is one that he's earned being in this position. All he does is slap fight with people. I don't think he knows how to throw a punch other than the 2 back and forth punches that he air punches when he's talking about you, me, man, we're together. It's like, it's so... We could go back to the conversation earlier in the show where we talked about the sleazy, scummy guy who comes up to you to impress you to try to see if he can get your attention at the bar. It's not about you. He's not into you. He's into you being into him because it's validation of him. I think Gavin Newsom is somebody who has risen politically because he is able to schmooze people into his orbit and kind of control people with his political charm, but I think it's so incredibly shallow. I think he does and says things that could be implied as racist. I don't think he's thought that far about it. I don't think he thinks about other people than Gavin Newsom. I think all Gavin Newsom does is think about Gavin Newsom. And he thinks he can walk in any room, charm any group, get them to do whatever he wants, and that he's drunk on his own power. And so he says things like that without thinking about how it could be politically spun against him. I don't really think that Gavin Newsom is out there thinking particular things about a group of black people sitting in an audience that he's speaking to, because I don't think he thinks that hard about that stuff.
Well, I agree with you, and I actually want to find a reason to, not exonerate him from this, but find the better answer, the better solution, the better motivation. But I can't really find it, because I think what he's doing here is subconsciously, not consciously, but subconsciously saying, well, I'm speaking to a room full of black people. Therefore, I need to tell them that I'm coming down a peg to be at their level. And that is kind of racist.
It's very racist. But is it because, I think Gavin Newsom thinks everybody is down a peg.
And that's the other reason I'm saying, is it just elitist or is it racist?
Yes, I think it's elitist. And I think elitism often involves racism and sexism and ageism.
Right.
Whatever. I just think that the Gavin Newsoms of the world, and listen, folks, the Republicans have Gavin Newsoms on their side too. I think they just are so enamored with themselves that they don't realize how abjectly that they can be at any given time. But the problem is that when it's Gavin Newsom, the left won't see it that way. And then they'll manifest this entire reality around Donald Trump saying he's the most racist person they've ever met. And you have black family after black family after black family, black person after black person after black person that knows him personally, that comes out and is like, absolutely not. He is not racist at all. And then they start listing things that he's done, like the First Step Act and the, the third.
Charlottesville?
No, I'm talking like the First Step Act, trying to get people who have been incarcerated for drug crimes, like he's given them the second chances. He's gone into opportunity zones with the help of Ben Carson, among other people. Like, he's actually done things for the black community. I don't know what Gavin Newsom has done. The left's solution to help black people is often very racist because it's the soft bigotry of low expectations, a phrase that we hear from time to time. I just think Gavin Newsom only likes himself, and it looked pretty bad there in front of that crowd. Back in a minute.
Setting goals for your retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another. For tips on building a better nest egg, listen to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 6 or Saturday afternoon at 4, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
It's time for you to get to know my friends at Lit Cigar Lounge in Chesterfield, where luxury meets comfort. Mark Cox here. They have a great selection of rare bourbons, whiskeys, craft cocktails, anything you like to drink, cold beer, premium hand-rolled cigars from the finest makers in the world, even private lockers that are available if you choose to. Perfect for date nights or business meetings, and live music every Friday night. Family owned and operated. Check them out in Chesterfield at the District. It's litstl.com.
HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Have you reached out to Matt Hayes to deal with the foundation concern that you have? Maybe just give it a look and tell you if you need to do something right now. Maybe there's a lower measure you can use right now before the problem gets out of hand and out of pocketbook. You know what I'm talking about. Matt Hayes, he's a local guy, and he has built Home Shield Foundation from the bottom up, Home Field Foundation Repair from the bottom up, so that he can service you in your time of need. He's locally owned and operated, not managed by some out-of-town, corporate person that is making all the decisions for him and telling him what to do and what to not to do. He knows how to fix your problems. He knows how to waterproof your basement. He knows how to level out the concrete around your pool patio or in the walkway at mom's house or at church where the foundation has started to crack and it's uneven and it's a hazard. Call him at 314-271-9900 and have him take a look at your problem today. 314-271-9900, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Hey guys, are you dealing with low energy weight gain or issues in the bedroom? Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, and they also help men and women with medical weight loss, vitamins, and peptides. They offer free consultations and testosterone tests with results in about 20 minutes. Get in, get answers, get back to the top of your game. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Again, that's GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Start your summer early at the St. Charles Boat Show, March 5th through 8th at the St. Charles Convention Center. The top marine dealers from the Lake of the Ozarks will be on site with the newest boats, personal watercraft, docks, and accessories. Step aboard, compare models, and find the perfect ride for your family. Special show pricing and experts ready to help make your boating dreams a reality. Visit LakeoftheOzarksBoatDealers.com for more information.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
The worst has passed. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That from the New York City mayor as snow begins to taper off after dumping more than 2 feet in parts of the Northeast, nearly 20 inches in Central Park.
I continue to encourage all non-emergency traffic, cars, trucks, scooters, and e-bikes, to remain off the roads.
Mayor Zoran Mamdani says multiple plowing runs will be needed, but schools in the city will reopen tomorrow. That may not be the case everywhere. Providence, Rhode Island, getting a record of more than 32 inches of snow in what's officially a blizzard in parts of at least 5 states. The high winds and heavy snow knocking out power to more than 600,000 customers. More than 20,000 flights disrupted through tomorrow with ripple effects around the country. Fox Business's Connor Hansen at D.C.'s Reagan National Airport.
Things are just slowly starting to get back on track here. Much worse in cities like New York and Boston. Today alone at New York airports, thousands of flights were canceled. Pretty much if you had a flight going in or out of New York, it's probably not going to happen until at least tomorrow. Just for some context, more than 22 inches fell at LaGuardia Airport.
Congress is back in session today after a 10-day break, but still no deal to end a Homeland Security funding shutdown over Democrat demands for immigration enforcement reforms.
That means that Secret Service agents protecting the president are not getting paid. That bothers Republicans, especially after Sunday's episode at Mar-a-Lago.
Fox's Chad Pergam on Capitol Hill. An armed man was shot and killed after breaching security at the president's Florida estate, walking in through an Tomorrow, he gives the State of the Union address on Capitol Hill. The House Speaker has said the U.S. gold medal winning hockey teams might attend the address.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Don't let that full sun fool you. It is windy and it is cold across St. Louis as we go through the afternoon. 34 for the afternoon high. That is it. Tonight, partly cloudy and cold. 22, the winds go light. Tuesday, partly sunny. A fast warm-up after a cold start. 55 Tuesday afternoon. 59 on Wednesday. Rain showers late Wednesday night and Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
License number GL250000615.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Home power used to be simple. Now the car plugs in, the scooter plugs in, the space heater plugs in, and your electric panel starts popping.
That sounds bad, but I like popcorn.
Popcorn is great, sparks are not. Call Grasser. We'll upgrade your panel so you can run it all.
Electric and plumbing, the Grasser way.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeServices.com.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Save 15% off blown-in attic insulation and get a free year of HVAC maintenance. Proper insulation reduces energy costs and strain on your HVAC system and makes your home more comfortable. For a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show, that YouTube live chat poll. What's your reaction to Kash Patel in the locker room after the United States men's hockey team won gold? Do you think it was highly inappropriate for him to be in there? Who cares? You don't care. You loved it, or you weren't watching any of the Olympics and you don't care about any of it at all. You said, Ethan, that you're starting to see a lot more reaction to that in your social media feeds about Kash Patel being in there.
Yeah, there's just been some pushback about why are more. It's more so about the comments that Trump made on the phone. People are apparently are really upset that he made that comment about which I think people are taking it as that he has to invite the women's team as well.
So Kash Patel had his phone out while he was in the locker room. The team all surrounded while they're talking to President Trump. One of the comments that he made was like he invited the men's hockey team to come to the State of the Union speech, which is tomorrow. And then he said, and you know, I have to invite the women too. And then he jokes that if he doesn't, he'll get impeached. So are people mad that Trump was talking to them, or are people mad that Trump said that he had to invite the women too?
Well, it certainly wouldn't surprise me if they're upset. There are people out there that are upset at both. But what I have seen specifically is the team laughing at that comment. And I did also see, I don't know if this is confirmed yet or not, I did see a tweet that the women's team will not be at the State of the Union because a lot of them are still in school, so they have prior academic commitments and athletic commitments as well.
None of them will? Or?
That's what it looked like to me, is that the women's team will not be attending the State of the Union. That isn't to say that eventually they won't make an appearance at the White House for winning gold, but
there was
doesn't look like
no
they'll be going
part
with the men's team.
of President Trump's comment about saying the women would need to be there that sounded to me like I thought it was nice that he included them in the conversation.
I thought
and
it was
you heard
funny.
you heard one of the he said we got to invite the women too, and it seems to me like all the hockey players were like, yeah, and then someone goes 2 for 2, like in a celebration. That moment right there was about the men's hockey team. It didn't have to involve the women at all. President Trump didn't have to say anything about the women at all, but he did.
Yeah, I like
he
the fact
them.
that he was trying to be fair. He's like, look, oh, by the way, I do have to acknowledge the women just won too, so I should probably say something about that.
Back again to what we continue to revisit over and over and over again. But like, you don't have to have a good sense of humor to understand that was said with a sense of humor.
Well, especially when he adds, I better say that they'll impeach me.
Yes, to hear the way he delivers that, he's just joking. They cannot. The people who wake up to hate him cannot get over the fact that Donald Trump is actually a pretty lighthearted person, and he understands comedic timing. I mean, if you go back and you look at his career way, way before he was ever into politics, the president, then real estate bajillionaire, New Yorker at the core. I mean, he was essentially the American dream manifested for everybody, for Democrats who loved him, who he donated to, for rappers who wanted him in their movies, music videos. The Apprentice. There's no way that The Apprentice can be as successful and highly rated of a show if that high of a percentage of Americans think that they're watching someone who's a racist, bigot, a-hole.
Even the podcasts that he was on during the campaign, Rogan, Andrew Schultz, I had never seen that side of Trump. I mean, I was 15 years old when he announced he was running for president the first time, so I wasn't really familiar with Celebrity Apprentice or the non-presidential side of Donald Trump. So seeing that
Trump's
was
a
like,
celebrity.
I was like, yeah, right. I knew the only thing I'd ever knew from prior to that was the Home Alone scene. That is literally it. So to see him showing that humor, I thought was pretty funny. And it was one of the first times that I remember seeing it.
The most dangerous thing that could happen, and it's already happened. I mean, this is very much so in the rearview mirror because he won. Still, the story of Donald Trump winning the second term is just, it's unbelievable. This is why I will tell you to read Joe Concha's book, because he chronicles the campaign of Donald Trump trying to win the election in 2024. And when you're going through and you're remembering the day-to-day of what he was up against, it is unbelievable that Donald Trump was able to pull off re-election for a second term, a non-sequential second term. The worst thing that could happen to the woke left is the humanization of Donald Trump. And, you've got 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump's life, one that took blood from his head, from his ear. I still see, and honestly, it's disappointing to me. I don't really know how this happened, but our Annie Fry Show Facebook page, I think a lot of it has to do with the Super Bowl halftime show. We put up some shorts on Facebook, just the way we do all the time. We talked about the news of the day, happened to be with the halftime show and Bad Bunny. It showed me how important the Bad Bunny halftime show was for politics, for a political side, not for the people who are like, I don't know why we have Bad Bunny. The political right was not interested in a Bad Bunny halftime show, but it was like an opinion on a piece of entertainment. For the people on the activist woke left, it was everything. And we threw up some videos just of us talking about the Bad Bunny halftime show, specifically on Facebook. And I got put in somebody's algorithm. Somebody shared our video. And whatever hole that we fell into, hates Donald Trump with a passion. And this is kind of where I was saying, I don't believe that a lot of these people are even real. I've noticed that some of the comments that are insults of Donald Trump are verbatim, word for word, the same from different accounts. So I guess there's some sort of robot or something that could be implemented there. But, I mean, we have tens of thousands of reactions on these videos, and they're all laughing emojis that are, mocking the fact that we would say anything positive about Trump or whatever. But it is a lifestyle. Think about that for a second. What does your lifestyle entail? Because we all here would probably first profess the first characteristic about us is we are Christians. Now, just as a side note here, for my own personal explanation, when I say that I'm a Christian, that means that I am an admitted and forgiven sinner. So a lot of people who hear, oh, well, that person says they're a Christian, they don't act very Christian. Are you implying that I am sinning? Because guess what a Christian is? It's a sinner acknowledging that they're sinful and grateful for the grace and mercy that has been given to them that was undeserved. So to suggest that being a good person and a Christian are synonymous, I could challenge you all day on that. You had a thief on the cross next to Jesus Christ as he was being crucified for his sins that he did not commit. And he looks at the guy who was being put to death for the crimes of him, and he said, today you'll be with me in paradise, which means he didn't live a great life, but somehow or another, forgiveness from Jesus Christ was still available for him. So when you hear someone say they don't act very Christian and they're implying that person has done something sinful, you've got 2 choices. Well, 3 choices. One is that conversation is done and over because you're not going to agree on the foundational principles that need to be had to have that discussion. The second thing you can do is choose to argue the point that you're trying to make based on their terms that they've already entered into the conversation that you'll never agree on because you don't agree on the foundational facts of the matter. And the third one is to say, forget about the political conversation. We've got a faith-based conversation that's way more important to have here. And then you start talking about what it means to say you're Christian. But, when we go and we identify ourselves as Christian individuals and we appropriate that upon ourselves first and foremost, the other things that we identify with ourselves with, being family first, being conservative, being sports parents. I know Ryan and I have, that takes up a lot of your time. Like your physical calendar has a lot of sports stuff on it. These are all things that I would identify with. I mean, I don't even know if I could go to a list of 100 things that I identify with. Would I be like Trump supporter? Would that be a top however many thing that I would feel important to tell somebody my position on Trump? It is the qualifying and disqualifying thing for a small percentage, but a very noisy percentage of American society is where you are on Donald Trump. And if you are not in the right place, which meaning you don't think that he's the great orange Satan, then you do not exist. You are dead to those people. And there's no overcoming that. There's no part for that person where you could kind of have a nuanced view on President Trump. I like these things, but I don't like that. That's not allowed. Your position on Donald Trump is the be-all, end-all for some of these people. I cannot imagine living like that because they don't have senses of humor about anything. You can't listen to President Trump pumping up the hockey team that just won over Canada in the Olympics in Canada's sport. Hear the president of the United States congratulating these boys. You're disgusted that he's even on the phone. You don't even think he should qualify to have his voice in that locker room, let alone anything he's saying you thinking even deserves a chuckle.
Well, it's because of the question, what do you stand for that's higher? Because I think, I'm not putting words in your mouth when you said, if you're describing yourself, obviously you're starting with Christian, but in there somewhere among parent and all these other things, you said conservative, right?
Sure. And as conservative, I would almost use conservative as a worldview more than a political view first.
And that's exactly what I'm saying is that really you're not saying I'm a Trump first person. You're saying I'm a conservative. Trump happens to hit more of that.
He's absolutely the best we got.
Than anybody else right now. And so he's my guy. And so I'm on his team because he's hitting these principles, generally speaking, more. And some of those are a little bit different than they used to be. What a conservative is today, a little bit different than it was 10 years ago. But generally speaking, you're talking about some higher principle than just a guy. But when you talk about the left, and you're talking about the extreme left, the ones that wake up, what am I mad about today? What do they stand for? I don't know that they could tell you the answer to that.
Well, I think that the answer is really, in retrospect, the same as ours. Like, wouldn't the first thing you would say is that you're a believer?
Me, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your religion. I mean, that's the label of it, but your religion is the most important thing to you. This is their religion. Their hatred of Donald Trump. The politics that they subscribe to, they have an unsatiable disgust for Donald Trump is the embodiment of it, but it's bigger than that. Whatever it is that in their mind, and I think it varies from person to person to person, whatever it is that Donald Trump embodies, stands for, symbolizes, he gets to absorb the ire of all of these people who have this gaping, empty hole. Like, what do the women who kind of embody they're kind of the front lines of this movement right now, wouldn't you say? Like the aggressive activist left is really embodied by women, probably 50 and older. I just say that because I'm 41. Just pushed it down the road a little bit.
It's not me.
Who are so incredibly unsatisfied or dissatisfied with life and the way that the world is functioning right now. And I ask myself, what would a society that they were enamored with, that they were incredibly happy, like, what would make these individuals, in this particular case, and specifically these women, we've called them the Mimas before, what would make them wake up to, oh, what a beautiful morning? Like, what would bring that kind of joy where when they wake up, it's a new day in America? Does that exist? Does the solution to their insatiable anger and frustration and disgust with what America is today, does the thing that would turn that all into puppy sunshine and rainbows, does that thing exist?
And not just for a day. For one day, if Donald Trump were somehow impeached and removed from office, those people would wake up happy, maybe a week. They get a week out of it.
They're but even their joy would be angry.
That's right. It would be. And so you're asking a really good, big question.
And J.D. Vance.
And then he'd be president, yeah.
Just watch, just like last time, Donald Trump's getting impeached, and all of a sudden Mike Pence is trending, and they're like, oh, sugar.
Uh-oh.
Wait a second, we don't get to pick our own guy? Nope. You want J.D. Vance, a younger, whippersnapper Marine, married to a woman of color, having 4 babies. He's a strong Christian, but his house is religiously dynamic. Like, what do you got on this guy? You've gone to the next boss. And I don't think that I think they're going to be happy for a minute, but their happiness is rooted in anger. Are they satisfiable?
Well, you're asking a question that really can be asked of anybody. What would bring you peace? What would bring you joy? The difference is with those people is that I'm not sure they could even tell you. Because not that everybody's got that question figured out, but I think most people at least have an idea of hopefully something bigger than themselves, something longer lasting, non-temporal that they could look to and say, well, this is more important than that. I don't think those people have that thing. And that's why they're seething. That's why it's their religion. They don't have the other stuff.
And imagine if they're imagine what, we are up against. Imagine if the other side doesn't have a solution. That makes me very quickly want to stop trying to solve their problems or even be concerned about their problems. If what they are up against is so unfixable, if there's no actual realistic solution at the end of the road, then what do you need me for? A hug? I can give you a hug, but I think you might stab me in the back while you're doing it. Like, I'm not... There has to be some happiness. There has to be some joy. And to have this overarching thing like Donald Trump being your deity or the oppositional deity to everything that you can think of in the world that is good, if there's no solution to that, then what are we doing with ourselves? Ethan, sports and local next on the Annie Fry Show. Don't go away.
And issues with their neck and back, but never fully appreciated what they were going through until it was my turn. It's like trying to describe colors to a blind person who's never had sight. All I can tell you is it hurt like hell, but worse. My daily walk was gone, and that bothered me a great deal. Then I thought of all of you and how much more devastating this type of injury could be for you. My life stopped. I now feel your pain. Just know at Morgan & Morgan, we got your back. I understand. Morgan means more.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
It's a great time, if there's ever a great time, to purchase a furnace or an air conditioner. I know it's winter. We got some great pricing. You can get 0% financing. So if you have been told that you need a new furnace, definitely give me a call. I could probably save you lots of money. Get a second opinion. Call me. Next day installs for your furnace so you won't be without heat. Very long. A furnace average install about 2-3 hours for a furnace. So not a big issue to do it now. And like I said, great pricing. So if that's you, call me. It's Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Just the easiest number. And there's one. 314-293-2600. Again, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, it is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hold up. Check it out. Sports and local.
Ethan Hannaford, the baddest man in book club.
Hell yeah.
Somebody's got to be.
Doesn't take much, though.
You're not the baddest man in book club. How do you feel?
I'm not even in book club, but I'm a bad man.
Should be. You should be.
I'm the baddest man in biker club.
Could
What do
be
you think
my
about that?
sidekick if you were in book club.
You're like Pee Wee Herman in the biker bar.
I'm a rebel, Dottie.
A loner.
A loner.
A rebel. No, I mean that's a really incredible analogy. You going into the biker bar as Pee Wee Herman and winning everybody over with your dance moves.
Yeah. I would do that if biker bars still existed. They're very rarely anything left called a biker bar. But
how do you know that? You don't know what you're talking about.
I know all about that culture. Give me a break. These are my people. But there's not too many of them left.
You ever seen the movie Wild Hogs?
Yes.
You know William H. Macy's role in that one?
I think so.
That's you.
I don't identify with that.
Ethan?
You done, Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't ask him.
Get started.
I was working on getting this back on the tracks
Kind
here.
of hoping he wasn't, but it's fine. Well, the Winter Olympics have concluded. Several St. Louisans have won gold medals, including Joy Dunn from the women's hockey team. 3 American St. Louisan men's hockey players have as well. Clayton Keller, as well as the 2 Tkachuk brothers, Matthew and Brady. In the audio that we played earlier during the show, where President Trump was speaking on the phone to the team in the locker room, you kept hearing someone say, "Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, we will be there, Mr. President." That is, I believe that was Matthew Tkachuk.
I was just about to ask.
I'm pretty sure they have a pretty good relationship. 99%. If it wasn't Matthew Tkachuk, it was Brady Tkachuk, but I'm almost positive it was Matthew.
They're St. Louisans?
Yes.
I don't think I mean, I know that they've played well.
So their dad, Keith Tkachuk, played for the Blues.
So
for
they're
a
St.
very long
Louisans
time.
because he was here
Correct.
as a Blue.
Correct. The Corey Miller from KSDK News was in Milan for the Winter Olympic Games. And
Are people mad about that? Just kidding.
He had
Hi, Corey. No shots fired
He
here.
had the opportunity to speak with them on multiple occasions, and you take away 2 things from the Tkachuk brothers. One, American pride through the roof, so much patriotism flowing through those veins, but also they are not hesitant to give credit to St. Louis being a huge reason as to why they are where they are. The people that supported them, the youth hockey programs here. As Ryan goes to grab the bell.
I was thinking, this is the time for the bell. And then Ryan left his microphone. I was like, I think I know what's happening here.
So it was really cool to hear them not just give blow-off answers of, oh, yeah, St. Louis is great. We love St. Louis. They were very intentional in their answers as to how much St. Louis has done for them and continues to do for them. This city loves those 2 boys, and it would not be surprising to me at all if one or both of them finished up their career or played in St. Louis with the Blues at some point.
And then became the mayor?
Sure, I vote for him.
Key to the cities?
If Ryan were at a biker bar, it'd be like a unicycle bar. I can totally see you making a sketch like that. You walk in with a bunch of people with monocles and
Weenie
top
Hut
hats.
Juniors.
Yeah, I could see that too, except that I can tell you in real life I tried riding a unicycle and I could not do it.
Did you fall?
Yes, it's really hard.
I'm glad to hear that.
Was it a big one? Like a gigantic?
What do you think? It was a tiny little unicycle? I'm not going to ride a tiny unicycle like in a circus.
Well, there's a unicycle, but then there are like the ones you see at the circus.
I'm not going to ride one of those. That's an embarrassment to unicyclers.
How would you know? You're
sorry
not
to
one.
offend your culture.
These are my people, Ethan.
I think I rest my case.
The next winter
I think I inadvertently made a point there.
The next Winter Olympics will be in 2030, and they will take place in France. And then following that, they will be back in the United States in 2034 in Salt Lake City. So that is the next time that you'll be able to take in the Winter Olympics. If you wanted to get on the calendar, February 10th through the 26th,
well, put that in
2034.
Ethan's when you fill in for Wiggins America, because we all found out that the Olympics were starting like that day.
Yeah, we didn't
in
care.
Ethan's segment. Had no idea. And closing ceremonies are today?
I think that they were last night.
So they
I
happened.
think it's done.
I mean,
Yeah,
they're
think it's all
probably
done.
today for our broadcasting.
Yeah, true. I believe it took place last night.
Is men's hockey, is that the pinnacle event?
This year, as far as what got the most attention, I would say so, because the NHL players were back in it. But figure skating is always really big. That's always considered a huge one. The U.S. won gold in women's figure skating for the first time since 2002, I believe. So that was certainly exciting. I don't know. Those are probably the biggest ones.
What St. Louis Blues were playing for Canada? Bennington was one of them, correct?
Jordan Bennington was with Team Canada, as well as Colton Parayko.
Was he in the whole time? Was Bennington the starting goalie?
Yeah, and he had a phenomenal game. He had a phenomenal tournament.
Is there any part of you, as a Blues fan that you are, Ethan, that has sadness because our St. Louis Blues lost on the Canadian hockey team?
No, not a bit. There were some people out there on the social media world that were advocating that they would rather see St. Louis Blues players win with Canada than see the United States that doesn't have any Blues players.
Those are communists.
Well,
Ethan, why do you like one Kachuk over the other? Which one do you like better, and why do you hate
Ryan's
the other?
trying to stir the pot.
I love both Kachucks.
Ryan, that was
Matthew
so
or
obvious.
Brady?
I've always had a leaning towards Matthew. I don't know if I have a great reason
Why
for
do
it.
you hate Brady?
I don't hate Brady. Matthew's a winner.
You're not
Matthew
as
has
good
won
as I
2
am
Stanley Cups,
to you.
an Olympic gold medal now. A little bit more in the spotlight, I feel like. Plays in Florida, where Brady plays in Ottawa. So maybe that's part of it as well. But I would say I lean towards Matthew. The SLU Billikens, big weekend for St. Louis University, faced off against their rivals VCU. And I believe on Friday, I kind of teased this a little bit. I said this was no, that's TCU. Yep. VCU is the Rams. And I think I teased I think I teased on Friday that this was going to be the biggest game of the year for SLU. And it proved to be a big one. They were off to a very slow start in this game. I think actually early on in the game, VCU had a double-digit lead. We're up, I think, 22-8. And then they had a double-digit lead at the half as well. But things certainly did take a turn in the best direction for SLU, who ended up winning this game by a final score of 88-75. I think that they had in total, approximately a 30-point turnaround. As far as when they were trailing to how it finished off. And for the second straight year at Chaffetz Arena, these two teams, there was some pushing and shoving, and the benches emptied onto the court. Now, last year, there was a big fight in the stands, in the parents section. This year, it was on the court. So this is one of the hotter rivalries in college basketball right now.
I watched that footage of the end of that fight, about 10 times, and I still couldn't figure out what was the instigator of it. I saw the guy come up from VCU and push the other guy, the SLU guy, down, but I couldn't figure out what happened right before that.
Yeah,
because it escalated quickly.
I don't know if I have a good answer either. I know that it was the end of the game. The final seconds are ticking off the clock. SLU has the ball, and VCU kind of swipes it away, like
was
out
that
of spite.
That's what I thought
I think
too.
that's probably what
there's
started.
No time on the clock. He tried to steal the ball.
We have no idea if guys are chirping. I'm sure these are rivals. They're talking back and forth all game. So who knows if things were said throughout the game or at the end that kind of sparred those actions. At the end of the day, no one ended up getting suspensions, like long-term suspensions or anything. I think the game ended. There was a second left, and they just ended the game because I think they kicked out like every single SLU player except for one. But no one's getting suspensions.
A post on X, and it said that men's SLU basketball and VCU, due to their fight, were eliminated from participating in March Madness. And I was like, I vocalized, what?
That would have been crazy.
Clicked and clicked and clicked, and it was a satire thing. But it
Dang,
got me.
Deep cut satire.
It got me.
That's hyper local.
I said what loud enough, and that like 3 of my family members were like, what? What's going on? I'm like, hold on a second. And
you're like, oh,
had to find out. I was like, can they do that?
SLU is now 13-1 in the A10, and overall,
25-2.
25-2. But it's not a start. It's not a start.
My dad, Bob Wiggins, said going into that game that this is a tournament game. That whoever wins it was probably punching their ticket. Agree?
Yes.
I agree with everything Bob Wiggins says.
I would agree. I would agree with
I did
that.
too.
Yep.
He really writes all my monologues.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We have to
Heck of
talk
a
to him. I
writer.
did not know that.
And my jokes about you.
Oh, I get that. I don't really care for them. Bob Wiggins style humor doesn't hit me well.
Yeah. This whole time you thought you were close with my dad? Now you know.
You're getting real material every day from my dad.
Yeah.
Real quick, Mizzou lost to Arkansas over the weekend, 94-86, but they did cover at the buzzer. It was a 9.5 point spread, and they were down by 10 and lost by 8. And then, Ian, your Illini, what happened over the weekend?
1 point. I don't know.
UCLA.
I couldn't watch that game. We had a friend over, so had other things on the TV. We were going to watch it later. And then my daughter pulled up her phone. It was right before it went to overtime. And I said, oh, Dad. And so she saw the score. I was like, Dad had texted me and was like, do you care if I watch the Illini game on my phone while we're watching this movie? And I was like, well, Jensen will probably want to watch it. She watches all of them. She knows all the players.
That's awesome.
She could sit down and have a very educated conversation about the ins and outs of Illinois men's basketball. And I was like, Jensen will probably want to watch it, but you could do whatever you want. And then she popped it up, and it was close. And then I think Illinois was down at the end of regulation, tied it up or whatever, and then they lose by 1 in overtime.
They had a 23-point lead at one point in this game against UCLA, and they ended up falling at the buzzer by a final score of 95-94. So Illinois going through some midseason woes here, but they have a little bit of time.
I think that Coach was basically saying that they didn't defensive rebound. So I try to show that to my kids, and I'm like, see, rebounding is key.
St. Louis City, first game over the weekend, drew with Charlotte 1-1 final, and we'll see what the season looks like for them.
Why do you people watch games that ends in tie?
I'm with you.
I don't.
I'm completely with you.
Soccer is a low-scoring sport. It is very fun to watch.
I don't care if it's low-scoring. Like, you want to watch a baseball game, and it's a pitcher's duel, and, what was it, Game 5, Phillies, Cardinals, 2010, 2011, 1-0. One of the best baseball games ever.
Baseball game I've ever watched.
So there's a ton of intense competition level, but it doesn't. What if it just ended 0-0 or 1-1? Like, why?
Everybody could go home with a trophy. Everybody's happier that way.
I need winners and losers, even if I'm one of them or the other. Need to know.
Disagree.
All right.
Love every tie.
Turn up that Toby Keith. Back in a minute. Don't go away.
What's up? It's Draymond Green. I'm back for my 14th NBA season, and my podcast, The Draymond Green Show, is back too. This season, I'm breaking down games, reacting to the biggest NBA stories, and sitting down with teammates, rivals, and culture shapers. And trust me, I'm not holding back, on the court or on the mic. 2 new episodes every week, new segments, big conversations, real basketball talk for the real hoop heads. Listen to and follow The Draymond Green Show wherever you get your podcasts. We're back, we're better, let's get it.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164.
All right, the YouTube live chat poll today is, what is your reaction to Kash Patel in the locker room after the U.S. men's hockey team won gold? Here's a comment on our YouTube stream from Lori. It says, I'm not watching, so I don't really care, but if I was, I don't see a problem with it. I don't understand why people are making it such a big deal. Well, that's one of the options, is who cares? Is that you? That's how you can vote today, among others. Highly inappropriate, loved it, not watching any Olympics, don't care. Those are your options. It is 2:37. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
25 years strong. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Nothing like going into a segment here where I think I need to sneeze. I was kind of waiting for it to happen. These are the hazards of the job. People don't really know what we have to work through.
Yeah, we got a lot of, we got trials and tribulations just like everybody else.
Allergies.
Mild allergies.
I don't think I know.
indoor.
A little free bird for you to celebrate. What is the song Freebird about? Let me just ask a dumb question. I've never read the lyrics. Have I ever even listened to the whole song? I'm not sure.
Well, do you know how birds fly?
Mm-hmm.
Most of them, like not turkeys and stuff.
Ostriches.
So it's not about turkeys.
It's not about turkeys
Okay.
or ostriches.
Freebird.
But birds generally are a flight species. And
I can't wait to make this a short for the people.
Keep going, Ryan.
So when you consider that about birds, that particular characteristic, what comes to mind?
Oh, I wasn't listening. I'm sorry.
Because the answer is liberation. The answer is freedom.
Freedom.
And when you see
Listen.
bird,
Be quiet. Listen. Here's what. Who is this?
This
Which
is Matthew Kachuk.
one? Okay. This is at the airport. Matthew Kachuk there at the airport in Miami as they have, as he said, landed on American soil. And just talking about, isn't it weird? You got Matthew Kachuk, St. Louisan, as we have highlighted here, landing back in America and just saying that this is the greatest country in the world. Like there are people that statement is offensive to some people in America. I mean, I can understand like if you were in Canada right now, you'd be like, we're the greatest country. Or another country, whatever. But like Americans that are disgusted with this country here, this is the greatest country in the world. And that's an offensive statement. Why is that an offensive statement?
I don't know, because when I see Matthew Kachuk, all I can think of is the bald eagle and the soaring of a bald eagle.
Okay, so he's still doing that. Matthew Kachuk, thank you to my friends who are texting me. The Kachuk brothers went to Chaminade High School.
Yep.
That's incredible. So they have landed, and Ethan's been chuckling because they've had this shot up of the exit where crowds and floods of people are walking through the Miami airport, walking out of where they would disembark from their planes or whatever to go get their ride shares or whatever. How long did you say they've been watching that for these folks?
Well over an hour. It's just been people walking through.
But they landed a long time ago.
They landed a while
I wonder
ago.
what they were doing.
I have no idea what was going on. By the way,
shots.
He looks pretty chill. The YouTube poll for today, what's your reaction to Kash Patel in the locker room after the United States men's hockey team won the gold? Ryan, what are your thoughts?
I'll tell you, the first time I saw it, I didn't love the... You just thought he was being weird. I mean...
It's not his presence, but it was
the position I don't mind. The fact that it's Kash Patel... Fine, I don't care. That's the kind of stuff that the leaders of the country do. They celebrate with when the country wins. But I just thought that what he was doing was a little over the top. So I'm not going to say highly inappropriate. I will say who cares.
So who cares?
Who cares?
Ethan?
I would also go in the who cares category. If it was on the other side and there was a politician doing it, I don't think it would be a big deal. Like you said, it's a political leader, to a certain extent, a face of the country. I don't see anything particularly wrong with it. If they were trying to make it about them and have it be this huge political message behind it, I think that's a different story. But clearly the guys were about it, and that's who it's about. And if they want him in there, then they get to have him in there. So who cares? They're having fun. They deserve to celebrate following the amazing accomplishment they achieved for the country.
Did Purdue, this is March 17th of 2023. I have this video in my mind, and I'm going to play it, and we're going to do this. We're going to do it live because I have a recollection of this just being profoundly stupid. Purdue locker room, 2023, March of 2023, Kamala Harris.
You guys are so good. You guys are so good. You played hard. You played to the very last second. You made all us Bisons so proud. You hustled out there. You are smart.
This is what I say to my kids after their Y volleyball game.
Oh my gosh.
You are disciplined.
Ooh.
You put everything you had into the game.
Uh-huh.
And you know, that's what it's about, right? Until the last minute. You guys did that. You didn't stop until the last second. You did not stop.
Preach it, sister.
And that is so inspiring.
No, it's not. You're not.
So you keep playing with chin up and shoulders back.
Oh, okay.
Because you showed the world who Bison are. Right?
I don't really remember this game or the point of why she was there, but imagine
Does
this.
it keep going?
Yes.
I mean, literally what you have done is in historic proportion. You know, I was at Howard back in the day where we were just happy that there was a game, much less getting to this place, right? And I see Bison literally all over the world, and we've been talking about you, this team, you all, this team, this year, this team.
Okay, I'm
You make
changing
us
my
so
vote.
proud.
Give me more
So I
Kash
know
Patel.
you may not be feeling great right now, okay? But know who you are.
Okay.
You are excellence.
Ooh.
You are hard work. You are powerful. And
You are hard work.
winners. All right? So please know that.
How did she lose?
Please know that, and I'll see you later.
No.
And if you guys
That's a
ever
threat.
want to come and do a White House tour, where's Coach? Where's Coach? There you are. Come, so we plan, if you guys want at some point, right? When it's like when you feel like playing hooky at Friday afternoon, whatever, just come and we'll do a White House tour, okay? All right, I'm so proud of you guys. So proud of you.
Did Howard make it into that's at HBCU. Did they make it into the tournament in 23?
I guess
I
so.
have no idea.
I
But
tried-
that was a historic moment we'll never forget.
Tried. I didn't forget it. Not for the reason she wanted to, but I was trying to Google it, and my internet was like, I don't even want to look this up.
The internet didn't care.
It was like, I'm gonna pass. You kind of jumped my point here, but I would rather see Kash Patel running around that room, dumping beer all over himself, chanting USA while she was talking. That would make that better.
Howard made it in 2024.
In 24?
Mm-hmm.
23? I don't know. Well, whatever. There's people in this locker room wearing Howard stuff, but like I remember her going in there, and I just remember being like, did they need this? Were they like unsure about whether they wanted to compete? And they're like, we need some inspiration. Who can we get? The Vice President of the United States, who said, you are hard work.
You know what? If you read the transcript, you'd go, you know what? Maybe it's okay. But when you hear the delivery, you're like, there's nothing inspirational about this at all.
It just sounds like things you say to people to make them feel good.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good.
It's like cut and paste.
So, like, for Kash, Kash, to me, she was there for her. This experience of watching her in her pantsuit, she's the Vice President of the United States. While she's doing this, she has authority, she comes in with an air of presence because she's the Vice President of the United States. You welcome her in to your locker room because she's the Vice President of the United States. She says she wants to come in. She comes in and she does her thing.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
all sitting around in this video. You can't really see many of the people in there, and they're just like quietly listening to her. The U.S. men's hockey team was sharing beers and cheers with Kash Patel. They were celebrating with him. They put their gold medal on his neck. To me, I defer completely to the athletes of the men's hockey team as to whether or not this man belongs in there. And, like, imagine watching the United States double gold medal over Canada and finding Kash Patel as the reason to hate this. You people are unhappy.
It may have been 2023. They played in both 23 and 24. So
the video was from 23. So I mean,
they played the 1 seed. They played Kansas, and they lost by 28 points.
Did they play a playing game?
In 24, they did. I don't know if they.
I
did
wonder
in
if in 23 they played a playing game to play Kansas, and they won, and that's why she was in there. It's like, don't miss out on the opportunity to go in the HBCU's locker room when you're going to run for president the next year. That's disgusting. From what that actually is, that's disgusting. Kash Patel was there, and we were doing something awesome, and he's like, I want to be a part of this, and I can, so I will. And they seem to be okay with it.
And went full fool on it. I mean, he went nuts.
Yeah. My vote for this is loved it, USA, USA, because I did love it, and it's making all the right people, really, really pissy today. So, more Kash Patel.
Crank it.
Let's just make Kash Patel the guy who just goes in the locker room and celebrates America alongside American things. I don't even care where the locker room is, as long as it's a men's locker room. Back in a minute. Home Shield Foundation Repairs.com. Matt Hayes will probably be mad that I just interrupted Freebird to talk about Home Shield Foundation Repair, but this is important. And I want you to understand that hiring Matt Hayes, 314-271-9900 at Home Shield Foundation Repair, is a way that you can entrust the right person, the right company, the right solution to get it done right, to get it done with the best customer service, to provide you the solution that you need to make sure that your problem is actually resolved. Foundation repair is something you're going to have to invest in, and the sooner you invest in it, likely the less costly it's going to get. If you're to the point where, oh my gosh, we got a crisis and I need to make an emergency phone call, you want to make sure that the person who's going to come fix it, the team, is going to know exactly what to do, have the experience, the know-how, and the great customer service to ensure that you're going to get the job done right the first time. You need your basement waterproofed. You need Matt Hayes and Home Shield Foundation Repair. 314-271-9900, 314-271-9900, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Is this the kind of music they play in your
unicycle club?
Tandem bike bar?
Now it's a tandem bike bar, okay?
That's what you said off air.
That is what I
me.
said off air, but you said unicycle on air, so I thought we were going to go with that. By the way, do you know that my brother is actually fantastic at unicycle?
Yeah, I did. Your dad told me.
My dad's texting you now?
No, we have a phone call, a Zoom before the show.
Oh, like pre-show?
Yeah, I tell him what I'm thinking, and he gives me pointers.
I do that with your dad.
It's weird.
No, it's weird when I do it. It's fine when you do it.
I have no relation with either of your fathers.
I was going to make a joke about our
I'm
moms,
Gavin Newsom.
but I'm going to pass.
Our moms all think all of this is weird because it happens every day.
Ryan has coffee lattes with moms every day.
Not necessarily. We go to the tea room.
Intervention is
Get a
set up
variety
for
of things.
tomorrow afternoon.
YouTube live chat poll, your reaction to Kash Patel in the locker room. Any more texts that I know we had a lot coming in, 314-241-9797 before we get to the results here. Any more thoughts on from the text line today?
People are just mad that it's a thing. I think overall, people are saying either some combination
So they're
of
annoyed that the story is a story.
who cares, or if they're not watching the Olympics at all. But most people are saying who cares or loved it, USA, USA.
Joe says on YouTube, anyone offended that a major government official was at a national event is living in an alternate reality. Amy said, this is the dumbest non-event the left has gotten upset over. U.S. top leaders have visited the Olympic athletes at every Olympics. Jeez. And Ender said, I'm not watching the Olympics, but after seeing this video this morning, I thought it was super cool. USA, USA.
J.D. Vance was at the Winter Olympics at the very beginning of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had any visits with athletes or anything, but he was there.
Kind of like the representative.
Even just sitting in the crowd, he was getting heat from some journalists.
I really want to. We're not going to be able to do it until after the midterms, and however the midterms go will kind of set the tone. But it will be really fun for a year after the midterms to let Trump be Trump. Like the last 2 years of Donald Trump's presidency are going to be wild.
Do you think it's going to be different at all? Do you think he's got anything in the tank that he's like, I'll wait until after the midterms?
Hell yes, because he doesn't have to run again. He's beholden to nobody. Now, if he wants to protect his legacy, this, that, and the other thing, he'll have to be thoughtful about what he does and how he does it. But there are things that this president wants to do that right now, if he does it and people don't like it, it will hinder his ability to do more things in year 3 and 4. After the midterms, he's going to do what he wants to do. And if that doesn't bode well for some faction of the America First party or whatever, that's not his problem. So I think that I know that there are policy implementations or executive orders or initiatives that he has in his mind for the day after the midterms that he will start engaging
maybe
in
so.
those.
I just the kind of guy he is doesn't lend you to believe that he's holding a whole lot back. So maybe there is something after the midterms that he does.
Yeah, but he's Mr. 4D chess. He plays the long game. He's going to know, like, for instance, the tariff implementation. And in our conversations on Friday with Shannon Bream, and then today in the 12 o'clock hour, you can check it on the podcast with Leigh Ann O'Neill about the Supreme Court ruling on the tariffs. This was what I took away from the Shannon Bream conversation the most, is he needed to get as much done as fast as he could, knowing that there was going to be potentially legal challenges that could potentially be successful, but he had to do what he had to do because the runway on getting the tariffs going, getting the investments in the United States and manufacturing and production here, that stuff has to get going now so that there's something to show for it come 2028 when the campaign is going on and everything is firing. There needs to be some evidence, and you can't wait on that. You need to lay the groundwork for that success to happen.
I don't want to be a homer, but that is exciting. Seeing the fruits of that investment come here,
That's
going to be great.
Yeah, being proud of American made once again.
Yeah.
Talk about America first. YouTube live chat poll results. What's your reaction to Kash Patel in the locker room after the United States men's hockey team won gold? Do you have the results? You want me to do it?
219 votes today. The options: highly inappropriate, who cares, love it, USA, 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 or not watching Olympics. 57% say they loved it. 26% say who cares. 10 say not watching, don't care. 7% say highly inappropriate.
Mark Reard next on 97.1 FM Talk.